minutes in Game 1, the Portland Trail Blazers owned the Detroit Pistons. They came into the Palace and began the dethroning of the Kings. For 42 minutes, it was even difficult to tell which team was the world champion, as a confident group of newcomers to the finals glided their way up and down Detroit's court. They were going to steal Game 1. But a basketball game is not 42 minutes, it's 48. And in the last 6 minutes, the world champions went back to their old ways of hard work and defense and began to look for somebody to take over. They found him. Isaiah Thomas stepped onto the court and said, "Nice try, fellas, but not tonight." So for the first time in this year's playoffs, the Trailblazers find themselves down a game. Coach Rick Adelman would like to change that tonight, but the captain's orders are, not in our house, you don't. And so welcome to Motown with the #1 hit this week, There's No Place Like Home. You know, when you punch out of work, it's a good feeling knowing that soon you'll be home, where the comforts of life are. And that's the way the Pistons feel about their home. When they come here, there are no surprises, no buses for them. They've got their own rides. It is a familiar place, to them a home fit for kings. And so welcome to the Palace of Auburn Hills, where once again tonight the welcome mat is out for the visitors, the Portland Trail Blazers. This is the 1990 NBA Finals, Game 2 between the Detroit Pistons and the Portland Trail Blazers. And good evening, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. The three biggest words in the NBA right now are home court advantage. In fact, the home team has won nearly 85% of the games, and that's why it was Portland's goal to come in here and win at least one of the first two. Now, this is the best-of-7 series, and after these two games here in Detroit, the road show hits Portland, where they have the opportunity to play 3. And then, if necessary, it's back here. So it's 2-3-2. The reality is Portland simply has to win down there. They almost did it on Tuesday night, but it almost doesn't count. And now they have to push that delete button and erase the memory of Game 1. Let's see how they're doing and go down to the hardest working man in show business, James Brown. JB.
Patrick, thank you very much. And one distinct feeling that Portland coach Rick Adelman had prior to Game 1 was that it was there for the taking. And, Coach, indeed, for 42 minutes, that was the case. What adjustments for Game 2?
Well, I think during this game, we have to do a better job around the basket. We didn't keep them off the offensive boards at their offensive end, and we didn't really get the offensive boards we normally get. So we were concerned about that because that's been a strong point all year long, and we felt if we would have controlled the backboards, we probably would have won that game fairly easily. And the other thing is they just got too much penetration and put a lot of pressure on us and got a lot more free throws than we did. And those two areas we got to be concerned with.
After such a disappointing loss, any signs of concern emotionally for your team?
No, there really wasn't. I think all our guys felt that we should have won the game. They felt that we made some mistakes down the stretch that cost us, but they all felt we can compete with this team. So they were very confident today.
All right, Coach, and just a few moments ago when the players went out on the court, Cliff Robinson, in reserve, said, hey, the bench will rise to the occasion tonight. We'll see. Let's go back upstairs to Pat O'Brien.
All right, James, fellas, you know, confident indeed. The Portland locker room was very upbeat before the game. Clyde Drexler told me, quote, "I'm not worried about going home. We'll win this one tonight. Then we'll go back home, and we're not coming back," end of quote. And the veteran of the finals, Chuck Daly of the Pistons, knows anything can happen. He gathered his team together to remind them that they haven't won anything yet.
They are going to respond big time in the second game. They've had some problems going on the road and so forth. And we have a hard time winning out there. You know, you're looking at a 6 or 7 game series. The 2-game is crucial. Got to win the 2 games. Somehow, you got to get enough rest, enough energy to play better. I don't think we can depend on a heroic performance again tomorrow night. We got to get more people involved to make shots. We had everybody look dead tired.
And Chuck Daly told me just before the game that they were so tired he was surprised they won on Tuesday. Tonight he says he likes what he sees emotionally going in. We'll hear from Dick and Hubie on the other side.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 2 of the 1990 NBA Finals is sponsored by Miller Lite, bringing you the exciting conclusion of the Tour de Light. Armor All, because only Armor All works like Armor All. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
Recently, Four Wheeled Off-Road magazine took this year's 4x4 of the Year winner and all the past winners and conducted a head-to-head showdown to determine the best of the best. So who won? Who do you think? There are a lot of 4x4s out there, but there's only one Jeep.
Get $1,000 cash back on Jeep Cherokee during the National Jeep Sale.
Midas is coming at you with value by the truckload, announcing the biggest news to come down the road in a long time. It's Midas-sized days, and right now you can get a Midas economizer muffler for your car for just $24.95. That's right, just $24.95 installed and guaranteed. For clean and quiet driving, take advantage of our value and quality and these Midas-sized days before they quietly disappear. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Describe McDonald's in 3 little words.
3 little words. Big Mac, fries, Coke.
Clean, clean, clean.
Butch, Gerald, David. See, I met them all right here.
Toy, Happy Meals.
Fresh, deaf, cooking. Extraordinary, innovative, convenient.
Filet-O-Fish.
You know the one, McDonald's.
Food, folks, fun.
Yum, yum, yum.
It's more than a crying shame. It's a national tragedy. And here are its victims. Every day, hundreds of infants enter the world with 2 strikes against them, helpless and addicted.
You can see now the baby's shaking terribly. It's really hard for them. He's craving for the drug.
For many of their mothers, it starts as a game, an escape from life's problems. But soon the game gets in their blood. And once that happens, a mother's addiction can sentence her child to death. Something to consider for their sake, if not yours.
Where there's help, there's hope.
This building has seen a lot of things. One thing it hasn't seen is an empty seat. Let's now go down to the voice of the NBA, Dick Stockton. Dick.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. Well, if I'm the Pistons, I feel terrific because I had one game to get ready for game number 1. Didn't play well, didn't shoot well, needed a miracle performance by Isaiah Thomas and pulled it out. And as Joe Dumars told me yesterday in practice, it seemed like a road game. He says it was a road game because we stole one at home. But if I'm the Trailblazers, I have to hang my hat on something, and it's the fact that I dominated for more than 3/4 of the game. But every game is a different entity, and I don't think they will be a psychological leftover from that loss. In any event, they didn't get it done in game 1. QB Brown explains.
The reason for Portland's game 1 loss wasn't all Isaiah Thomas. The Trailblazers were frustrated because Detroit took away their best weapons. Detroit's transition defense took away the running game by simply getting back on fast breaks. And the Blazers' defense did not get back on Detroit's transition. And surprisingly, the Detroit Pistons won the battle of tempo in game 1. But the real disappointment was on the offensive glass, where Portland has been dominating in the playoffs, averaging 17 per game. No offensive rebounds over a 32-minute period allowed Detroit to stay close and gave the Pistons the opportunity for a 4th-period miracle.
So, Hubie, how do the Trailblazers do a better job on the offensive glass?
Well, stay away from the quick shots, the unexpected long jumpers. Establish your low post game. Stay with it in the last 6 minutes. And by that, I mean Duckworth, Williams, and especially Drexler. Give your front court people a chance to offensive rebound.
As we said, the Pistons didn't play all that well. Do they have to fix anything up?
Look, just take care of your defensive rebounding. Plus, Isaiah and Dumars off the dribble. When the shots go up, pound the offensive board. 19 offensive rebounds led to 46 foul shots. You know what happens then? Portland cannot get out in the open floor.
Nothing new in the injury story. Dumars feels better with the groin injury. However, Rodman's still bothered by the ankle, and it affects not his lateral movement, but his lift, and that's his game. Pat, back to you.
All right, Dick, thank you. You know, Grandma used to say, travel east, travel west. After all, home is best. And so the familiar sights of home will greet the Pistons tonight. The question is, will this once again be a haunted house for Portland? It is game 2 of the NBA Finals. Stick with us, folks. We're giving you the best seat in this house.
This is it. After 2,986 miles, the Tour de Light, the race to win America's favorite light beer, has reached New York.
Excuse me, fellas. I'm looking for New York. Big place, tall buildings. Subway?
This is when many cyclists say they hit the wall, but they push on. Why? Because it's there, at the finish line, a lifetime supply of Miller Lite. They are all still in this thing. Well, everybody except Woody Harrelson. Apparently, he is still on that shortcut.
All right, looking good.
These guys would not push themselves for just any beer. Only the less filling beer that really tastes great. Here they come. It's anybody's race. I don't believe it. Woody wins. And so, what was it that drove these guys across America? The quest for Miller Lite, America's favorite light beer.
Looks like they're going to need more Miller Lite.
When you have these, why would you need a Black & Decker Power Ratchet? Because it's faster, easier, and works in lots of places manual wrenches can't. The Black & Decker Power Ratchet. It's really turning a lot of heads.
And great crowd reaction thus far here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan. Distinguished by the attendance of Vice President Dan Quayle. Bill Davidson, the Detroit Pistons owner, is next to Vice President Quayle for game number 2. The Portland Trail Blazers will line up like this for game number 2. At forward, Jerome Kersey and Buck Williams. At guard, Terry Porter and Clyde Drexler, and Kevin Duckworth is the center. Rick Adelman, 43 years old, a coach that his players respect tremendously. Now for the Detroit Pistons. The forwards are Dennis Rodman and James Edwards. In the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. Bill Laimbeer is at center. Chuck Daly, the oldest coach in the NBA at age 59, and maybe his last year, even though he has 1 year left under his contract. Darryl Garrettson, Jack Madden, and Hugh Hollins are the officials for game 2. Pistons in white will control.
Well, the Pistons always like to start the ball game by going down inside, especially to James Edwards to open things up. Try to play two-man basketball.
No one in the middle right now. Now Edwards makes his move to the baseline. He's been in a scoring slump, but Detroit leads thanks to him.
Now Portland is up-tempo. They like to force the action. Now I like this right here. Going into Duckworth, make Laimbeer work.
Couple of pumps by Duckworth, and the score is tied with the two big men.
As long as you apply pressure up front, the big men get in foul trouble. With that comes substitutions. That's always to your advantage.
Again low into Edwards. And again Edwards hits. He scored only 9 points in game number 1 with a terrible shooting night.
Well, Portland does not like to double team early in the game. So that's going to be a tough cover for Duckworth.
The 24-second clock is not operating right now on either side. Buck Williams scores. They didn't need it. And as a matter of fact, all of the clocks have been out and a timeout has been called. You see what we mean. So Darryl Garrettson is over at the table right now, so kind of a little power outage of sorts.
You know, when you're a coach right now, you're off it. You know, the anxieties, everyone is warm. You're getting what you want at each end of the floor. Both coaches are happy. Their early game plan's working nicely. And now all of a sudden you must stop the action. And something like this can be corrected easily, or sometimes it takes quite a while.
And it's the kind of a game that started off unlike the last game with rhythm going for both teams' offenses.
Well, you know, Detroit always likes to start out. They're down into James. Let's see what the defense will do. If they double team, they know where they're going to kick the ball out and rotate the basketball. I like what I saw down here with Portland. Clearing out for Terry Porter, taking Isaiah Thomas, is sending a little bit of a message here. We are not going to allow our point guard to be dominated by Isaiah Thomas off the dribble and possibly an early surge in scoring.
Everything appears to be in order. And I guess they want to make sure that doesn't happen again. I think if the scoreboard goes out twice in the first quarter, that's got to be an illegal defense or something, Paul. We talked about Portland's confidence. They lost by 6 points in game number 1. In the regular season, they lost to the Pistons by only 5 here at Auburn Hills.
You know, coming in, Dick, you know what I mean? Coming into this whole thing, Terry Drexler had a great comment. That was before game 1. We're not here to steal a game. We are here to win. Clyde Drexler, we're here to win every game.
Beer is really covered by Kersey with 10 on the shot clock. Kersey looking to possibly double.
Well, you see, they're going to force them to double.
Edwards. You know, Edwards' playoff scoring is cut in half in the last series, but it looks like he's coming out in earnest in this one. Has all 6 Detroit points.
Major manhandling going on with Duckworth and Lambier.
Duckworth fighting for his own rebound, and he'll be called for the loose ball foul over Dennis Rodman.
See, Duckworth working very, very hard to establish positioning against Lambier. Lambier trying to front him to discourage the pass.
Porter has got the strength against Thomas's quickness. Good pass into Edwards. That was a great feed, though, by Isaiah Thomas. And Edwards starts off 4 for 4 for 8 points.
Now, they're going to have to change here. You must run a double team. See, in their early thinking, they do not want to double team Edwards until he puts the ball on the floor. Well, he's not doing that going to the middle. He's going to the baseline.
You never told me the Pistons were a one-man team. Duckworth goes in and hits again. Duckworth has 2 hoops.
See, I like that strategy because it's going to make Lambier work defensively, put pressure on him, lose a little bit of that energy.
A little more than 2.5 minutes elapsed in period number 1 of game 2. Best of 7, with Detroit leading 1 game to none. And a foul is called as Lambier got in the lane.
Here you'll see a nice screen. Forcing a delayed defensive move there by Duckworth. And there you have James throwing that patent and fall-away jump shot. 7-2 late release.
Clyde Drexler picks up the foul. Again, they don't double team now. Drexler fakes it, but they'll double team, and they're going to keep going to Edwards until he gets it right. He has 10 points right now. 5 for 5 shooting. When do you make the adjustment?
Well, you know, each coach has his own philosophy. You know, in the East, everyone double teams James almost immediately, forces him to make the pass because he is a big-time scorer.
Drexler off of Williams, saved by Duckworth, and now they said he was on the line. You know, talking about James Edwards, one of the reasons he felt he didn't have a good game was because he expected the double team and was caught off balance when they only covered him singly.
Yeah, but, you know, that's...
You don't believe it?
No, I don't. Yeah, that's a lame excuse. James had the shots. He just missed them. They were all good ones. All right, there you go. Now you have your double teaming and a rotating.
Lambier left open. Clyde Drexler. 10-6 the score. The Pistons lead. And Williams gets fouled. No offensive foul, and they claim that Lambier held his position, and they're going to call Buck with his first.
Well, Lambier was definitely there. He was set before Buck got up. There it is right there. That was a good call. I like Buck challenging, though. It's nice to see him, and then they've got to get Kersey out into that flow early.
Dumars was underneath, but wasn't looking when Isaiah Thomas tried to thread the needle. So on the turnover, Blazers trail by 4. That was the first turnover of the game by Detroit. Drexler hitting outside, and even though he hit, Dumars did a pretty good job in keeping Drexler to the outside shot and not letting him drive in game 1.
No, I want to see the Glide tonight open up his game and get down inside with some post-ups and really challenge Dumars.
Dumars goes all the way in for the basket. Scored 20 points despite the strained right groin muscle. Drexler again going outside and again hitting the perimeter shot. He led with 21 points. Edwards trying to post up against Duckworth. A lot of banging going on. Kersey Porter tried to double quickly. Extra pass to Lambier. He's missed 2.
Well, when you double team, Detroit is outstanding in reversing the ball to the free man. And they're going to live now with Lambier open until he runs a little streak.
Terry Porter on the pick and roll to Duckworth. And Duckworth hits again. He has 6 points. Tied at 12 after that early spurt by the Pistons.
See, once again, this is a Portland tempo. They feel they can maintain this pace for the 48 minutes.
Edwards again. Finally misses one after hitting 5, and the rebound by Williams. Not totally a fast break pace, but it's to Portland's liking. Duckworth quickly fires it up, and he has 8 points. So the 2 big men off to a hot start offensively.
Well, Duckworth is wearing out not only Lambier, but also Edwards as well, with a lot of movement.
Blazers with their first lead of the ball game on that hoop. Out to Thomas. And he hits the 3. Isaiah Thomas, who had 10 in a row in a 16-point fourth quarter. And a steal by Isaiah Thomas, but couldn't hold his balance, and he was out of bounds.
See, when the big forward jumps out of bounds, you cannot run down the floor. You've got to come back and give him a chance to make the pass. Here we go with a pick-in, spot up. There's the big guy. Look at that floater. Beautiful rotation.
The Tour de Light is nearing the finish line, where a lifetime supply of Miller Lite waits for the winner. These guys would not push themselves for just any beer. Only the less filling beer that really tastes great. It's anybody's race. I don't believe it. Woody wins. And so, what was it that drove these guys across America? The quest for Miller Lite, America's favorite light beer. Looks like they're going to need more Miller Lite.
This summer, fasten your seatbelts and hold on to your hats. Total Recall is the thrill ride of the summer. Prepare to be blown away. Total Recall, rated R, now playing at a theater near you.
Here's the new double cheeseburger pizza from Pizza Hut. Check this out. It's heaped with beef topping and cheese, and when I get one for $8.99, I get a second for just $4 more. So tomorrow's breakfast is already made. Pizza Hut, making it great.
Did you know that there is a belief in business today that some long-distance companies can save you lots of money over AT&T? But this has grown way out of proportion, especially if you're a small business. Look at it this way. When you compare the other guys' long-distance rates next to AT&T long-distance, you'll find you can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices. And there's nothing inflated about that.
Hello?
Value, another AT&T advantage.
Murder in the High Sierra.
I don't start trouble. I finish it.
Only one man can stop it. Robert Conrad, High Mountain Rangers, Friday.
Well, the Blazers feel that they learned a few things from the Game 1 losing experience on Tuesday.
We learned as a team that we can play with this team. You know, we lost that game. We gave them that game because we should have won it, and that we can contend with them. You know, that we have a great chance of winning here than they do winning in Portland.
Definitely was a tough loss for us, but we know that we can play well in this building, and
You know, we just have to, as I said throughout the start of the series, the team that best plays this tempo is going to win the series. And for 3/4 of that game, we played our tempo.
We answer number one, we answer the question whether or not we can play with this fine Detroit team. And number two, we answer the question whether or not we can create the tempo that we want to play at. And I feel that very optimistic now, knowing that we can create the tempo and we can play with this defending world champions.
Duckworth, 4 of 5 for 8 points. Edwards, 5 of 6 for 10 points. The two big men off to a hot start, although the Pistons feel that they'll not be able to play Laimbeer and Edwards together that much. They think Sally is going to be an important man when he comes in and will play a lot tonight. Shooting has been torrid by both sides early, and we're nearly halfway through this first period. Drexler. And here's Duckworth again. Still hot. Duckworth now in double figures.
Yeah, it's nice to see him off to such a hot start, and I'm glad that he has that pad that was on the bottom of his shooting hand. Now that it's gone, he really has a beautiful touch for a big man.
Portland is a team that's missed just one shot in 9 tries. Duckworth tries to knock it away.
Yeah, he has quick feet for a man his size, and he has such beautifully soft hands. When he shoots the basketball, it leaves his hands like a feather.
Most improved player 2 years ago in the NBA, and has also been an all-star one time. Laimbeer fires a 3 and hits. Second 3-point basket for the Pistons so far.
Now remember, when you double team, you're leaving someone open. And they'll force Laimbeer to hit a couple of these before they make him make the next pass.
18-16 Detroit. 5:20 remaining in the first period. On Tuesday night, Portland ran out to a 9-point lead after 1 quarter. Duckworth. And now come the Pistons. Portland is back defensively. So Detroit will set it up.
You know, Detroit likes to milk the clock. They love it when they get down inside of 4 or 5 seconds. They usually get a pretty high percentage shot.
They got plenty of time now. 8 on the shot clock. Edwards going in. Kersey with a semblance of a double team, but might have done enough to disrupt Edwards. So the Blazers looking to tie the game.
This is the matchup tonight. Thomas and Porter.
Drexler has been hot from outside. He had a man in his face that time, so Detroit still with the lead. Thomas goes right around Porter, picked up by Duckworth. Is falling away. Still feeling the effects of game number 1 heroics.
Isaiah will move the basketball during the first quarter, and he'll only shoot it if he feels it's absolutely necessary.
Porter misses a 3-point attempt. Thomas releases. Rodman gets the rebound.
Remember we said about those long early shots from downtown. You usually get a long rebound, and it stops the offensive guys from getting to the board.
Dumars gets the basket and draws the foul with a circus shot. Jerome Kersey commits the foul.
Now this is Detroit at its best, whether it is Dumars or Isaiah. Now that was a very, very difficult shot. Drexler, excellent defense that time to force it. Now here we have Isaiah, a little pick by Edwards, the freest man. That's reading the defense. See how Isaiah stepped away from Duckworth.
John Sally has come in the game replacing Bill Laimbeer. Dumars fails for the 3-point attempt. Sally with a tremendous performance. Only 6 points, but had 8 offensive rebounds and 4 block shots Tuesday night. Buck Williams working against Sally. Big reach, and Buck throws up an air ball. Rodman looking for the outlet. Finds Dumars. Dumars against the big man. Out to Thomas. Thomas will fire a 3 with a man in his face. Porter and hits again. He's got 2 already in this game, and he hit 2 last night. And a timeout called by the Blazers.
When that happens, you've got to get to the man and make him put the ball down on the floor once he establishes the range.
America's oldest golf championships, played on one of the PGA's toughest golf courses, the Centel Western Open, this weekend.
Palace in Auburn Hills, where the Pistons have shot out to a 9-point lead in front of the Blazers, and James Edwards was a major key with 10 first-quarter points, and he had a bit of a remedy. James Edwards was in a shooting slump. The remedy was bringing his mom, Mrs. Nan Edwards, all the way from Seattle. Now, I understand you're here to cook for James. What was a special meal tonight?
That is right. I cook breakfast for him. When he comes from practice, he always wants breakfast. So we had pancakes, bacon, sausage, and eggs, milk.
Now, Mrs. Edwards, we understand he's single. Now, if you're going to do all the cooking for him during playoffs, he'll never get married.
He'll just find a girl who cooks like I do.
Well, all right. And little am I one to talk about getting married.
No.
All right, and of course, his nickname is Buddha, but we understand she is not Mrs. Buddha. And as we go back to Dick, and he'll be again a real battle on the boards tonight.
Well, we're going to show you the two key guys. Kersey is your best offensive rebounder for the year, but he's against the #1 defensive player in the league. Appreciate the physical contact. Once that shot goes up, Rodman knows he must keep Kersey off. That's going on at both ends of the floor.
Pistons are on a 10-0 run right now, thanks to tremendous three-point shooting. And a 9-point lead. Less than 3.5 to go. Duckworth inside. And Edwards might have fouled him over the top, and if so, that will be the first foul by the Pistons in this game. On the line, Duckworth shooting 2. We're at the Palace, Auburn Hills, Michigan. Nothing but sellouts in the 2 years this building has been open. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown, Pat O'Brien, and James Brown. Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Portland, kind of a surprise survivor in the Western Conference. Leading most of the way, but losing game 1 and trailing now 25-17. Dumars tried to pass inside. Duckworth got a hand on it. Rodman. They gave Dumars time to shoot it. Maybe too much. Rodman with the offensive rebound. That's the first offensive board of the game. Sally throws it away to Drexler. It's a 2-on-1 break. Drexler. Oh, there's the glide that you've been asking for.
Oh, my. What a sensational move. I mean, Isaiah's laughing as he's running down the floor.
Gave Chuck Daly a headache on the Pistons sideline.
I mean, Clyde just stepped right over the top of him.
Into Edwards. And a foul. That'll be the 4th team foul against Portland.
Appreciate the extension. He decides right from here, the foul line, that he's going up over the top of Isaiah.
Meanwhile, the foul is on Clyde Drexler. It's his second, and you recall he was in foul trouble throughout game number 1, picking up 3 early and then picking up a 4th later on. And Rick Adelman kept him in the game after both of those key fouls.
Well, he said to us today that he has great confidence in Drexler, that he plays intelligently, and he has the ability over the course of the season and now in the playoffs of picking up that one that will put him out.
You saw Duckworth go to the bench. Wayne Cooper replaces him, the veteran shot blocker. Vinnie Johnson has come in. He's been ice cold the last 3 games. Microwave has been way off. Plenty of time on the clock for Portland. Drexler. Wild on the 3, rebound by Rodman. He's got Vinnie Johnson. Back to Rodman. Great passing by the Pistons, who now lead by 10.
See, they're not winning with the outside long 3-point shot. They're missing. The ball is kicking long, and Detroit is getting out into the open floor and scoring.
Danny Young is in the game as a point guard now. Kersey rolls to the hoop. Too many white shirts inside, and it's going to be Pistons ball.
You'll see with the long shot, it caught everyone unexpected. Here you have the kick. This is unselfish play. Right back to Vinny.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Danny Young, the replacement for Terry Porter. And a whistle away from the ball. Foul will be on Buck Williams, his second. And it's the penalty situation, so the Pistons will go to the line.
Well, you can see Buck's a little frustrated. Anytime Vinnie Johnson comes into the game, they want to get him a flurry of shots because they don't call him the microwave for nothing. He can get into a quick flow.
Dennis Rodman, who's improved his free throw shooting this season. Cliff Robinson will replace Buck Williams, who goes out with 2 fouls. So right now, Drexler and Kersey are the only 2 remaining starters in the lineup for Portland. Thomas and Edwards and Rodman for the Pistons. He was over the line before the shot. Rodman now is limping. He has aggravated that ankle again.
Well, he knew that the shot was off. Mark Aguirre is already at the scorer's table coming in.
Rodman goes out. Mike Abdenau, the trainer, and he looks like he's in pain over there. And Aguirre has replaced him.
See, Portland right now, they're coming with some bench people, but they are keeping 2 starters out there, rather what they did in the other playoff games.
30-19, Percy missing outside, Thomas the rebound. Portland once again relegated to shooting perimeter shots. Thomas trying to get it to his buddy Aguirre, but there you see Rodman hurting on the sideline as he twisted that ankle.
Now keep an eye on him because he goes across the line. See, there's the violation. He stepped right on the foot of Drexler.
Flip Robinson hits. That's been one of the questions, is shot selection offensively.
You see, right now, you have Vinnie Johnson on Drexler. Drexler can post up Vinnie at will, shoot over the top of them. There's such a size difference.
Overplaying, not letting Vinnie Johnson get the ball. Thomas goes back into Edwards. Edwards off to a big start. Sally misses the tip. Out of bounds. It'll still be Pistons ball with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first.
See, Kersey made a great statement after the game the other night. He says, we have a tendency to only send 2 guys to the defensive board and send 3 out on the break. You cannot do that with the Pistons, especially when they have Edwards and Sally in the game and Aguirre. They're all good offensive rebounders.
Plenty of time on the shot clock, just under 20. Aguirre posting up against Drexler right now. They double team Aguirre. They don't find anyone open. And now the Trailblazers down by 9. Differential of about 3 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Danny Young misses. Cooper the offensive rebound, and the veteran from 12 years in the league in his first final score.
You know, it's nice to see him over the back spasms that kept him out of a lot of action in the playoffs, because anytime that he rebounds a ball or gets a pass, he attacks the basket.
Playing for the last shot now with a 7-point lead.
Good defense.
He makes Thomas force it up as the buzzer sounds. They wouldn't let him get the pick and roll off. But James Edwards, hit on the chin, nonetheless has 12 points. And that's the end of the first period. Here at the Palace with the score, the Pistons 30 and the Blazers 23. And we'll return to the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan after this message and a word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Yeah, this is the one we got to run.
This is the proving ground. The people of General Motors are keeping the lights on, making transmissions, engines, and electrical systems you can count on. Perfecting Chevrolets, Pontiacs, Oldsmobiles, Buicks, Cadillacs, and GMC trucks. And with 77 models redesigned and engineered, GM is putting quality on the road. That's not just your house. It's peace of mind. So if you ever want to buy a home or remodel one, remember this. The right bank can make a difference between worrying about it and enjoying it.
What this man is doing is not funny in the eyes of the law. The story after the game.
Hey, this is Mike Cab.
No way.
Come on, Daily, I was first.
You haven't been first since '87.
Now, let me tell you, we'll be there again before you guys.
We're the champs right now.
You mean you only got one of those? Chuck and I don't agree on much.
But we agree on one thing.
If you plan on drinking when you come out to see our teams play,
plan ahead and bring along a designated driver.
Somebody you can count on to get you home safely.
Okay, guys, where to?
Hager Stadium.
Palace.
It's my cab. It's on the way. You mean you get out first and I gotta pay?
CBS Sports coverage of Game 2 of the 1990 NBA Finals is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Garden Grip garden tools from True Temper, the great escape from yard work. and by Minute Maid Orange Soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
Welcome back, Portland and Detroit. Detroit leads 30-23. Chuck Daly said before the game he liked what he saw in his players emotionally, and he has to be happy with what they've done on the court. The big story developing now early in this game is Dennis Rodman. And for that, let's go to James Brown.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. In fact, Dennis Rodman did jam that very tender left ankle of his. I talked to the team doctor just a few moments ago. He said it's nothing serious. They checked the wrapping. It is, in fact, secure. He will be giving it a shot. The one thing that they did do, fellas, is they went back into the locker room to get that well-advertised trampoline for Rodman to make use of while he's sitting down. Let's go back over to Dick and Hubie.
And there it is, the trampoline coming from the dressing room, which helped Dennis against the Chicago Bulls. And they need him because he had 5 rebounds, Hubie, in the first quarter. And that's what he does the best for this team.
Well, see, his sprain is not on the outside. His sprain is on the inside. It affects the ankle as well as the arch.
Vinnie Johnson is guarding Young. Sally on Cliff Robinson. Rebound by Bill Laimbeer, who had 15 rebounds in the first game of the series. This is Detroit's pace right now. Double on Aguirre. Laimbeer took a low pass from Aguirre and hits. It's a 2-point basket. He was just inside the line.
See, what's happening is when they double team Portland, they are not covering the first pass. And that's interesting because it's Laimbeer.
Robinson, who hit his first shot, has now missed 2. We may be seeing Mark Bryant come in if Robinson continues to take shots and not make them for Portland.
See, most teams, when they rotate, they'll cover the first pass out, and then they will try to get to the second pass.
Illegal defense called against the Trailblazers. That's a warning. Second time will be a technical foul. By the way, both teams in the first quarter shot well over 50%. No one shot 50% in game number 1. Now, it looks like an over, and was that an over and back? I'm not sure of Darryl Garrettson's call on that one, but it's going to be Portland's ball. An illegal offense, an isolation illegal offense, and we didn't have that called in any of our games this year.
Not once this year.
An isolation illegal offense to draw the illegal D. Kersey for the turnaround over Aguirre. And of course, Kersey wants to take advantage of Aguirre. Lead is 7. Biggest lead was 11 for the Pistons.
Portland just needs a couple of stops, get out on a few fast breaks, and everything will be fine.
Detroit gets Aguirre, who lost the ball. Cliff Robinson. Beautiful pass to Clyde Drexler from big man. That was an excellent bounce pass.
That was a great pass, but a terrific catch by Drexler. He had to take that one in traffic.
Now it's a 5-point lead. Dumars and Young will hold him. That'll be the first team foul for either side in the second quarter, and the first for Danny Young. There's Young, who played 4 years at Seattle and the last 2 in Portland. Anytime you get
Joe Dumars on that pick and roll situation, you must be careful because he's every bit as good coming off the pick and roll, and then he sometimes will take you down to that baseline area.
You want to double Aguirre? Vinnie Johnson, right place, right time, and an offensive foul called against Detroit. John Sally will be hit with that. He is first. And a timeout called. So this crowd is quieted somewhat. I think Rodman's injury had something to do with that, and the Pistons still lead.
Four-wheel drive.
It means that you can drive in every direction at the same time. There's 4 steering wheels for driving.
Anti-lock brakes?
Yes, you can lock them so no one will steal them.
Kids may not understand what Ford Aerostar's new four-wheel drive and standard rear anti-lock brakes are all about. But rest assured, their parents do.
Now get 7.9 financing for up to 48 months or $700 cash bonus on Ford Aerostar.
I don't think you've got the guts to use it.
Anybody else want to live?
Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte, Another 48 Hours. Rated R. Starts Friday, June 8th at theaters everywhere.
It's Magic Summer from Coca-Cola Classic.
There's magic in the real thing.
Introducing the Coca-Cola Magic Cup Instant Win Game, where you can win up to $10,000 or other great prizes. Look for Magic Cup only at fountain outlets where ice-cold Coca-Cola Classic is poured.
There's magic in the real thing. Can't beat the real thing.
Blazers and Pistons take a rest this Saturday. Plenty of sports action right here on CBS. At 1 Eastern is the concluding game of the 44th College World Series from Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Greg Gumbel, Jim Cott, and John Dockery have the call. And following the game, third-round coverage of the Centel Western Open live from the Butler National Golf Club in Oak Brook, Illinois. And Lauren Roberts, Ray Stewart are the leaders after the first round. So it's all coming up this Saturday right here on CBS Sports. Thus far, as we said, both teams have shot tremendously well. Edwards and Duckworth, the leading scorers, the two big men. And Portland has outscored Detroit off of the turnovers 10-0 thus far.
Look, if whoever you're coaching tonight, you're happy because you've both established your inside game.
Question is who will stay with it and who won't. Kersey working against Aguirre. Cliff Robinson forced that shot out of bounds, and it's still Portland's ball. And a couple of substitutions coming in, both in the backcourt for the Blazers. Drazen Petrovic on the right, and Terry Porter returns in. Buck Williams will go in as well for Kersey. So this is the first time, I think, that we have seen Petrovic, of course, this early, and he'll be playing the off-guard position.
Well, they like him as a scorer. The coaching staff said he's one of the best shooters on this ball club.
Played with great Yugoslavian national teams. Pick and roll. Wayne Cooper working against Lane Beer. Slapped out to the Dumars. Portland had cut Detroit's lead from 11 to 5. Lane Beer. Cooper with the rebound. Porter had 5 assists in the first quarter. Petrovic. Terry Porter feeds Cooper. Great pass. A lot of hands in there for Detroit. Still Portland ball, but Cooper had a golden chance.
That was a beautiful pass by Porter. Cooper tried to go strong that time, but he ended up at a bad angle on the first dunk try.
Benny Johnson got a hand on it. They have 20 seconds now to try a shot. Porter working against Dumars. That's worked against one of the better defensive players in the league.
Well, you know, it's the old story that he's been launching so many jump shots. He went 5 for 15 in game 1. Take him off the dribble, make him work, and then that will open up your outside shot.
Which is what Thomas did to Porter in game 1. This is an illegal defense called against the Blazers in the first of the game.
Now here you have it. See, Terry's sizing him up. It's in a one-on-one in isolation. Now you'll see Porter. There's a strong move right there. Came back with the left hand. You say, why did he do that? Because the rotation was coming to take away the right-handed shot.
Benny Johnson guarded by Petrovic.
Excellent defense.
And a blocking foul called on Drazen.
I tell you, Drazen is shocked right now, and you'll see this. Watch how he anticipates and gets to the spot. There it is right there. That's a tough call.
Portland's second team foul of the second period. Benny Johnson way off the mark. The rebound by Cliff Robinson. 10-2 is what the Trailblazers have outscored the Pistons since Dennis Rodman went out after aggravating the ankle. And Cliff Robinson gets the basket and draws the foul to add to the misery.
You know, you talk to the Portland coaching staff, Dick, and they'll tell you that Cliff Robinson really has a ton of talent. And all they're asking him to do is to know what is a good shot versus a bad shot. That was a difficult shot that he just made there. Fortunately for him, he gets bumped. He has a chance for a three-point play.
James Edwards will come into the game. And Dennis Rodman's going to give it a try as Aguirre and Sally go to the bench. And Robinson, who was picked on the second round out of the University of Connecticut, and a real good defender, makes good on the three-point play, and now it's tied at 32, so the Trailblazers have made up 11 points in this game.
And it's interesting how they're just keeping to the low post game and getting it done. 4
minutes going by in the second. Pick and roll doesn't work because Edwards fell down. Dumar's up, traveled before it, and now Portland on the turnover to move in front.
See, Joe Dumars is pleading right now that the ball was jarred, and that's what forced. He did not have control. That's what forced the steps.
Turnover story, a bit surprising for the experienced Pistons. Rodman is on Robinson, and a foul called against Detroit. It'll be Vinnie Johnson. Third team foul against the Pistons.
Ever since Petrovic has come in the game, they continue to run him off double screens, and then staggered screens. That means 1 or 2 as he's coming off the baseline area.
Staying with him is Vinnie Johnson as he came off of that screen. Petrovic gets the basket. He might have been a little too pumped up in game 1, Hubie. Looks to be settled down here.
Well, you know, the coaching staff from Portland, what they say, they thought he was a little antsy. And then he became overly aggressive, so they figured they'd get him out of there, and the rest of the guys were playing pretty good for him in the second half.
And another illegal defense, and this will be a technical foul called against the Trailblazers.
Now watch this right here. Now watch Vinnie Johnson chasing. Here's your first pick. There was a second pick. Now, anytime that you're running at an offensive player, you're at his mercy because he can either take the jump shot, fake you, get you in the air, and then take you off the dribble.
There's Kevin Duckworth. He's back in, and Wayne Cooper did a good job, goes out. But shooting the technical on the illegal defense is Joe Dumars. And you know what? The Portland bench did a pretty good job. They were down, and a lot of their backups helped bring them back in this game.
Well, you know, it was kind of unfair when everyone is saying, well, Detroit bench outplayed them. Well, in order to get the numbers that the Detroit bench gets, no matter what team you are, you need the minutes and the shot opportunities. And sometimes that becomes a little unfair.
That was last touched by Vinnie Johnson. Actually, his knee touched it. Portland with a 12-0 whitewashing off turnovers thus far.
Well, their defense has been excellent, and they're guessing well.
And a foul away, and let's see, it's going to be... It'll be Detroit's 14th foul, not the penalty. And Isaiah Thomas is going to take off his jacket and get back in.
They are wearing out Petrovic's man. He's a tough cover right now.
Schick, the official razor of the NBA, presents Close Shaves. The strong inside game of the New York Knicks is countered by the aggressive Chicago Bulls, who hold a 4-point lead with only 9 seconds left.
Tucker for 3. He's fouled. It could be a 4-point play.
But after 2 Chicago free throws, the Knicks' frantic effort is off the mark, and the Bulls enjoy a close shave victory.
I'm Mike, Paxton brother nobody knows.
Who is that guy?
I'm Mike. We all shave with the same razor, Slim Twin disposable.
Slim Twin.
Slim Twin. It's got a narrow head. Like Mike. I'm Mike. Yeah, so you can shave hard to reach places.
Men prefer the Schick Slim Twin over Good News. The Slim Twin disposable reaches every place on every face.
Guys?
No autograph.
Heard.
From Schick.
Looks like Rusty's back in town.
The Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. You'd better hold on.
Well, a good showing for Portland in the nighttime with the lights over the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan. About an hour or so outside of Detroit. 20 years ago, the first Blazer team, Jim Barnett Ron Knight. Rick Adelman was the captain. Leroy Ellis and Jeff Petrie, who is the co-rookie of the year with Dave Cowens. That team didn't win many games. Actually, they did win many games for an expansion club, didn't they? Close to 30.
Yes, they did. They were, they were extremely proud of the foundation that was set.
And of course, in the finals for the second time since 1977, when Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas and company won the NBA title, beating Julius Erving and the Sixers in 6 games.
See, I like what Portland's been doing. They've been staying to their offense, running all the picks.
Petrovic trying to get in there and scores again. The Mozart of the hardwood. That's what they called him in Real Madrid in Spain. Young, talented, and a bit wild at times.
It's nice to see him get going because he's a very, very potent offensive force, and he's non-stop.
Blazers lead by 3. They were down by 11. Missed the reverse layup, but there's Rodman. Slapped away by Porter. Great play by Terry Porter. And a 3-on-2 break. And it's blocked by Isaiah Thomas. He blocked the 6'10 going in.
They got to get back. 2 guys are in the backcourt.
Thomas with the jumper. And Porter comes out and runs over Joe Dumars. And they're going to call the foul against Dumars for the block, and a good call by Jack Madden.
Now here you have a 3-on-1. Now watch how Porter fakes it and comes back to his right. Now here's Isaiah going up, and you can see he gets the hand right there as well as the ball. But Cliff Robinson and Duckworth did not get back. At the other end, here we have the shot, the miss, and then the loose. Now once Porter picks it up and goes, all right, right there, the referee on the angle. Jack Madden had the call all the way. He said there was daylight for Porter.
But we saw a 6'1 guard block a 6'10. And that's nothing you don't see every day.
Well, he had a little help. He kind of held out to his wrist, all right, on the shot.
Pistons in the penalty, and Porter on the line.
See, Chuck knows he's got a problem here tonight because Portland is really staying to their movement in their half-court offense, and they are getting excellent shot opportunities.
Detroit led 30-19 when Rodman went out with under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. He's been back, but so are the Blazers in a 5-point lead. Dumars shooting over Petrovic. Edwards still leads the Pistons with 12. Duckworth with 11. Tops Portland. Petrovic. He feels it tonight, and you can sense it out here.
You see, that's his shot. He loves to dribble and get the shot. What they're trying to do is to break him and help him when he comes off the picks to catch and also look for the shot.
First European player ever to play in the NBA Finals. Dumars to Edwards. The basket is good and a foul. And Edwards now with his first hoop of the second quarter, and Duckworth will pick up his second personal foul.
That was a terrific pass by Joe Dumars as he beat his man. Now watch as Dumars makes the spin. He knocks the hand away. Now here he comes. There's the double team, and he finds Edwards. You see Edwards stepping to the front of the rim. Anytime your man leaves you to double team, go to the front of the basket. You catch the pass, you got to lay it.
Tantalizingly on the rim, comes off, but Edwards will still have 14. And the Blazers lead is 3. There's the time remaining in the first half. Nick Stockton and UB Brown here at the Palace. Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Buck Williams gets inside. What a game he had the other night with 20 points, leading with 12 boards.
What he did there, he did the other night with ease.
Duckworth slapped it away. I tell you, Petrovic has really raised his game a notch or two in this one. Porter going to Duckworth, but a foul before the shot. It's on Rodman, and they'll shoot.
The guy that is playing a great game is Terry Porter. He is the one who is knocking away most of these loose balls. That is their 7th turnover for this quarter, and Terry Porter is responsible for the majority of them.
Assists for Terry Porter.
Now keep an eye here. Now here goes Isaiah. There goes that was by Cliff Robinson. He got a piece of it. Petrovic on the floor, finding the free man.
The last 4 years, only Magic Johnson and John Stockton have more assists in the NBA than that man. Portland leading by 7 after trailing by 11. Pretty good turnaround in this first half.
Well, it's all coming off the defensive end of the floor, and they feel that they can match up with Detroit, and they say it every day.
Rodman with a rare jump shot for him. Lane Beer converts. Nope, off the rim. Rebound by Duckworth.
See, this is the Portland game. Get the miss and fast break.
Lane Beer fouling Williams at the other end. It'll be Lane Beer's first foul, and this is Portland's game all the way right now.
See, in game one, any time that Detroit would shoot, they shoot 37%, they would go in, get 19 offensive rebounds, either score or get fouled. Tonight, they're getting the ball, Portland kicking it out, and the fast break is starting to develop.
Well, as you heard the players early in this game, it's a matter of tempo, and they felt that they can control the tempo, and they are.
An Achilles heel with the ball club, Portland, is the fact that this is a low foul shooting team, 72%.
Now it's an 8-point lead with 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Lane Beer with a rare drive. Gets his own rebound. Stolen by Porter. Thomas is with it.
3-on-1.
Buck Williams. Rodman held his ground. Good defense by Rodman. No surprise, defensive player of the year in the league.
There's a mismatch.
Lane Beer had Petrovic on him. Thomas fakes Duckworth. Petrovic did a tremendous job defensively. But it's still Detroit's ball. Edwards didn't have control. And they're scrambling inside. Look at Detroit shooting down to 23% after hitting 55 in the first quarter. John Sally back in.
Buck Williams did an excellent job in stripping that ball and forcing James Edwards to lose control.
They got a new clock. Thomas off the glass, but Petrovic wouldn't let him get the three off.
Yeah, that's good defense, you see, because he has the field. Don't give him the three. Run at him hard. Force him to dribble a basketball. Get down inside the defense and then make a tough shot. That was a tough shot. High and off the glass.
Hello, everyone. I'm the big new star of the big new movie, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. And here's someone very special to tell you all about it. Boy, this is a really good movie. And there you have it, unsolicited testimonial from Gizmo himself. So listen to Gizmo. You know he'd never lie to anyone.
Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Here they grow again. Rated PG-13. Special preview this Saturday. Check newspapers for theaters.
The Johnsons' first house was the biggest investment they'd ever made, so they wanted the best homeowners insurance that they could find. I'm State Farm agent John Caldwell. After Terry and Barbara checked around, they came to State Farm. They found the protection they wanted at the right price, plus the personal service people expect from a State Farm agent. One day they may find a house they like better, but they'll never find a better homeowners insurance value.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The promises found in a showroom catalog are only as good as the quality found in the car itself. That's why at Ford, we've continuously refined one of America's top-selling cars, Ford Tempo, to its highest quality level ever. It's quality you can feel at a price they can't touch. Ford Tempo. You don't have to be well-to-do to do it well.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
The Palace at Auburn Hills, where Detroit trails the Trailblazers 45-39, and usually this time of year in the finals we would have a bird from Indiana. Today we have a quail from Indiana. Mr. Vice President Dan Quayle, welcome to our show. What are you doing in town?
I was in town earlier and I decided to come back for the Pistons games. I got a couple of hotshot teenage boys that love basketball. Come from the state of Indiana, you're given a basketball by the time you're 2 years of age, whether you're a boy or a girl. And we play a lot of it down there.
We don't want to get you in trouble at home now. You're an Indiana Pacers fan, right? But Fort Wayne was the first home of this franchise, Detroit.
That's right. When I was in Michigan Tuesday, I reminded all the Detroit Pistons enthusiasts, and the whole state is just bonkers for Detroit, of where the Pistons originated. Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Fort Wayne Pistons used to be a powerhouse, and now Detroit Pistons are a powerhouse.
You nervous tonight about this game? You were complaining here, they're down. He's into the game, folks.
I'm not nervous, but I'm sitting next to the owner of the Detroit Pistons. He was in very good shape for the first few minutes, and now his thumbs are starting to twiddle.
You never seemed like a bad boy kind of guy to me.
I'm not.
All right, Dick, I'll tell you one thing. We got the security we're looking for in 108 up here. Back to you guys.
All right, Pat, I'm sure that the vice president remembers George Yardley and Larry Faust, huh? Fort Wayne Piston vintage players. Drexler is back in along with Kersey for Portland. 45-39. Duckworth. This is the hook in and out. A lot of times this game is decided on whether the ball goes in and out. That was a good shot by Duckworth. Dumars. Drexler tried to gamble for the steal, but Dumars couldn't hit.
The big thing tonight is they're holding Detroit to that one-shot opportunity.
Taking advantage of turnovers and running off of them. Kersey hitting from outside. Only 4 points for Jerome. 18 points off turnovers for Portland, 0 for Detroit, and the fast break shows the Blazers with a big advantage too. Thomas with a run.
See, when Isaiah beats you off the dribble and gets down inside, Portland needs to get to him and get in front of him. You just cannot give him the lane to the basket.
Duckworth still leading Portland with 11 points. Drexler posting up against Dumars. And that's there, as you would say, all the time, right?
That's there all night, and especially when Vinnie Johnson is playing. They can get a great shot anytime.
10 points for Drexler, and Isaiah Thomas goes in and is called for the offensive foul. That'll be his first.
See, in talking to the Portland players, a number of them said, when Isaiah breaks the lane, the other night we gave him a highway and let him score. We've got to get in front of him, take the charge, or if nothing else, if you don't take the charge, make him change his shot while he's in the air.
Under 2 minutes to go and 11 on the shot clock. Blazers lead by 8. Picking spot up for Duckworth. And Buck Williams will be there to tip it in with the goggles and all.
See, when Detroit switches on that pick and roll, Duckworth's got to go to the front of the rim. He has a guard on him all the time.
Quickly in Edwards. This is how Detroit started the game, but now the double team.
There you go.
He runs into the double, does Thomas, and they tie him up. It'll be Kersey and Isaiah jumping.
See, tonight we are seeing the defense that we are accustomed to hearing about. Look at this. Now watch this. See, there he is. He takes away the lane. You have your trap. Isaiah is trying to move, and he falls to the floor, giving you the jump ball.
Portland has a 10-point lead, their biggest of the game. And it's going to be a violation against Detroit. It is, and it's Portland's ball. So a 10-point lead after the Blazers were down by 11 points in the first quarter.
Well, they called Lambier was in the circle before the ball was tapped.
There's Drexler trying to go low against Dumars again. He does have more success.
Listen, Clyde has got a big-time game down in that low box, and he knows that he can shoot over the top. He has many, many shots.
Isaiah Thomas going in, trying to get something. He gets the foul this time. That'll be the 4th team foul against Portland. Detroit already in the penalty, and that'll be on Wayne Cooper, his first, who replaced Duckworth a moment ago. Thomas with 12. Second to Edwards, 14th on the Pistons scoring side. Before that free throw, there was a 23-point turnaround, Ruby.
Well, the guy on the foul line right now realizes that he just cannot continue to pass the ball to everyone else. He must be involved and become a scorer in this offense to get them back. Like he said, I go on some of those mini runs that I have, and most of the time I'm forced to do it because we're in a losing situation.
22nd timeout called by Portland. Chuck Daly busy arguing with the officials for most of that. In any event, we'll be with you from Portland on Sunday at 3:30 Eastern time as the scene shifts to the Pacific Northwest, where that Rose Festival is going on strong. One of the great times of the year up in Portland. Pistons and Trailblazers, game 3 of our best of 7 series. And you know, Hubie, when we go to a new venue, of course, the thing is that the Trailblazers have beaten the Pistons 20 straight times up there.
Well, you know, in talking to Chuck Daly, he'll always say that the 2 buildings that give him, you know, the most problems are Portland first and Chicago second. And when you think about it, they've only lost 6 games in the last 2 years in the playoffs, and Chicago has beaten them 5 times, 5 of the 6.
9 on the shot clock. Drexler with a blind shot. Langbeer has it. There's the time remaining in the first half. 20 on the shot clock. Isaiah Thomas. Wild baseline shot to Edwards. He might even call it a pass. Who knows? But it wasn't.
Now, they can hold for the last shot right now.
But you know, Portland's bench has outscored Detroit's 13-2. A sharp contrast to the other night.
They're opening the floor right now for Porter.
Porter working against Isaiah Thomas. Out of bounds and 1.2 left.
Well, it's time to get off a, you know, a good shot opportunity. Chuck Daly's taking a, he wants a 20-second time right now, because what they'll do is they'll talk about one of the pet plays that Portland will use in this type of a situation.
Duckworth will check into the game now.
When you're coaching now, you usually will have at least 2 plays that you will set either staggered picks or a double pick to free up a good shooter. But when you are defensing this right now, many teams will switch and they will say, keep between your man and the basket, but watch out for the lob from out of bounds to the front of the rim. That's what you do not want to give them.
21,500. They played at the Silver Dome prior to coming here and had crowds upwards of 45,000. A little bit of Joe Louis Arena, we remember, a few years ago. But you won't find a spiffier arena than the Palace. It's got the boxes. Are going to build an amphitheater next door.
There is the lob.
Drexler at the buzzer. But only a 15-point period for the Detroit Pistons. And Terry Porter, with terrific defense and all of his 6 points this period, sparked a tremendous Portland comeback. And that is the end of the first half with the score. The Blazers 53 and the Pistons 45. Pat O'Brien will be along with the Prudential at the half after this message.
CBS Sports presents The Prudential at the Half, sponsored by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Well, we know they don't like it, but they're probably getting used to it by now. Portland leads at the half again for the second time, 53-45. The story of the game, Detroit has had 13 turnovers and Portland only 2. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, and welcome once again to the Prudential at the half. It seems that this time of year, there is a lot of coaching news, and here's the very latest from Boston. Right now, Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski is deciding whether or not to take the Celtic job. Reportedly, he's been offered a 5-year, $2.5 million deal to take over the team. Now, Tom Butters, the vice president and athletic director at Duke, told CBS tonight that he met twice today with Coach K, saying the discussions were, in his words, good and fruitful, and that while no decision has been made yet, he does expect a quick one. Tonight, Coach K is meeting with his family as he weighs graduating from college to the NBA. He's keeping everything to himself, though. Neither he nor the Celtics are commenting on this story. Let us switch gears here for the story now of Dennis Rodman. You know, it wasn't that long ago that we had no idea who this kid was. In fact, there was a time when he didn't even want to play basketball. Now we call him the Secretary of Defense. His friends call him Worm. And speaking of friends, you might say life took a big turn when the Worm met a kid named Brian Rich.
When I met him, I kind of looked up at him, because he was real tall, 6'8", he was skinny. And one thing that I remember, he's had quarters in his ears because he had no pockets to hold his change.
Yeah, we went to a basketball camp, and he came there. His mother and father had to literally push him in the door because of the thing that happened to Brian.
What happened was a nightmare. At an age when you are just beginning to figure out that life is fun, 13-year-old Brian Rich accidentally killed his best friend in a hunting accident.
It's hard because, you know, when I was here when the accident happened, and it was a mess, you know. It really was.
Brian had a good, strong family to back him up, but not even it could help his post-accident depression. Enter Dennis Rodman, a local college star at that basketball camp. Although Rodman was 9 years older than Brian, it was best friends at first sight.
We got the plan, and he said, I want you to come to dinner. And I'm like, I knew what was coming up. I said, no, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And he said, okay, maybe tomorrow.
And what did you know was coming up? This is what was coming. Boquito, Oklahoma, barely 600 people. Rodman himself was reared well by his mother in Dallas, but there wasn't a thing in his background to prepare him for the folks here.
When I brought him home, they weren't expecting a big 6'8" guy to walk in the house.
Was it the 6'8" or the black?
I think it was the black, most likely.
Well, Brian, he kept telling me that he had this real nice friend. And he told me that he didn't smoke or drink. And I just assumed it was a little white boy.
Her and her husband went in the other room. I know what he's talking about. I said, God, we got a black man in the house. He's 6'8" and he's 21 years old.
Anyway, when he come in, we fixed the steak and everything, and seemed like Dennis just kind of took in.
Steak was good. It was a cattle farm, and the friendship began to grow. After supper, Brian said what kids all over America say. Want to sleep over?
That was the first time Brian ever slept in his bed for 3 months. After the shooting, he used to sleep with his mom and dad because he had nightmares and he couldn't sleep. He wanted to go to school and things like that. I slept down in the bunk bed. He slept up here. But when morning came around, Brian was laying in my arms like a little baby, you know, laying literally on me. And then when his mother came in the next morning, she literally started crying and said, and she couldn't believe that he took attached to me.
I always said that Worm was a gift from God because he was so good for Brian, and I think he was the one that really brought Brian out of his state of depression.
That day on, I stayed with them for 4 years. I did not leave the house. I stayed there.
I was petrified the whole 4 years because I didn't know what was going to come out of that situation down there. But they seemed to care for him.
Dennis eventually left the Riches' home, but not their hearts. Like the song says, you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. And as all families do at reunions, they get choked up. But if you know Rodman long enough, you know this one gets choked up over a lot of things. A lot of good things. Like when he was named the Defensive Player of the Year.
I wanted this one so bad.
Rodman doesn't just wear his emotions on his sleeve. Alexis is the 20-month-old daughter of Dennis and Annie Bakes. And while neither mother or daughter lives with him full-time, he's as full-time as you can get.
She's strong, and she smiles all the time. She's a very happy baby.
You get kind of teary-eyed when you talk about Alexis.
Yeah, I hate to cry because people say, God, you cry so much. But it's, you're not a man, you're not a person you don't cry. It just makes makes me feel good just talking about anything that's worthwhile.
He takes a lot of time with Alexis when he's with her, and he has a lot of patience. And he knows that when I get impatient with her, he picks up the slack, which I think a mother and father, that's why you need a mother and father.
Can you say rebound? Good. That's very good.
That's all they got ought to do. Rebound, run the floor, huh?
Sometimes the best parents are kids themselves. And Dennis Rodman would plead guilty to being a kid at heart anyway. And kids like him, they take time to write him letters from around the country. They take time in lots of countries. Brian Rich may have taught Dennis Rodman a thing or two about color blindness, but somehow you just know that he didn't need any lessons there. And so as mindless racial prejudice continues, it may be worth listening to a young man who graduated from a white family in Oklahoma, a man who clearly understands that people should not be judged by the color of their skin, but the contents of their hearts.
All I can say is, we just have to work together because this is the only world we're going to have. And, if we don't work together, hey, we all going to go to hell.
Now you know he's outspoken off the court to go along with the way his basketball speaks for Detroit. It's nice to have Dennis Rodman in the game. With that, we'll continue from the Palace as At the Half rolls on after a commercial and a word from your local stations.
Oh, Sheila, that was all wrong. We belong together.
I know.
So let's get married.
Buy a big house.
Sure, we're gonna hit it big, kid. Stocks, bonds. We're on our way to Rainbow City.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for investment advice, peace of mind, even buying or selling a home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the Rock.
The battle for the national title. The 44th College World Series Championship. Live this weekend on CBS Sports Saturday.
This is CBS.
And now, a TV2 Eyewitness News break.
Good evening. I'm Dana Eubanks. Tonight on Eyewitness News, after the game.
Yo, I told you, can't touch this.
MC Hammer's rap song, Can't Touch This, is starting to become the Pistons' theme song. But TV2 asked him to give it a new twist. You'll hear it exclusively on TV2. Plus, Mayor Young tries to make a bet with the Portland mayor, and Eli Zaret and former NBA star Spencer Haywood will have the post-game interviews and analysis. Get the facts on TV2 Eyewitness News after the game.
Over a lifetime, the average American will be involved in 5 automobile accidents. But accidents don't necessarily mean injuries. A TRW airbag can help protect you in a head-on collision. Used with a seatbelt, an airbag gives you a better chance of walking away. TRW.
No down payment, $199 a month, 48 months. Now from your Tri-County Pontiac dealers, a Grand Am exclusive that makes GMAC Smart Lease even smarter for you. Now a brand new 1990 Grand Am LE Coupe, specially equipped with air, automatic, and more. Yours for no down payment, only $199 a month. Imagine $199 a month. It doesn't get any smarter than this. See Red Holman, Westland, Ray Latham, Grosse Pointe, or Bob Sellers, Farmington Hills.
This is Eli Zaret at the Palace. I'll have interviews and comments live.
Putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it. Over to Stan Jones. It's all over. Sonny Havlicek stole the ball.
Won't start until it's touched. They'll have to throw it up. Garher, turnaround, shot in the air. It's good. I don't believe it.
2 seconds. 1 second. West throws it up. Jerry West made it from the other side of the midcourt stripe.
NBA action has always been fantastic.
Welcome back to At the Half, and welcome back to the Palace at Auburn Hills, where the Detroit Pistons find themselves trailing again in this series at halftime. Portland leads 53-45. Let's go down to Dick Stockton. Dick.
All right, Pat, well, you rarely see a repeat of what happens in one game to another game because of adjustments in the playoffs, and that's the case in this one. Portland has had the tempo in their favor. They've taken advantage of a lot of Detroit turnovers, 5 by Isaiah Thomas. They've converted them into fast breaks. They've also gotten inside, and keep in mind the big thing is that the Detroit Pistons have a 14-game winning streak in the playoffs at home, including 10 this year. Let's take a look at some halftime statistics right now, starting out with the shooting. Portland at 51%. They never shot 50% at all in the last series or in game 1. Drexler is hot from the field. Turnovers, the big story there. Isaiah Thomas, unusual with 5, as we said. 13-2 is the edge there. And in the inside points, thanks to Duckworth's 9 points inside, mostly early, it's a 10-point advantage there. Right now, let's send you over to James Brown with Rick Adelman. JB?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. Coach, on the boards, Detroit still winning that battle 22-15, but otherwise not a bad performance in the first half.
No, I think we're doing a good job of maintaining the tempo we want. We're executing pretty well offensively. We're taking it inside more and trying to force the issue inside. I think we shot it well, so we haven't gone to the boards as well, but that's one area we still have to continue to do. We've got to continue to keep them off the boards, and they still got 8 offensive rebounds, and we're not good enough there yet.
All right, Coach, good luck to you in the second half.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and we'll be back with the second half of the game at the Palace tonight of Game 2 of the NBA Finals, and we'll hear from Chuck Daly. All that and more after this.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 2 of the 1990 NBA Finals is sponsored by Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. U.S. Sprint and its new world of telecommunications. And by Plymouth and your local Plymouth dealers who invite you to test drive a Plymouth today.
And a few minutes ago, Hubie Brown talked to Detroit's head coach, Chuck Daly.
Characteristic. 13 turnovers, the offense is sputtering. How do you come out of it?
Well, it's a mind game, and plus the fact that they've scored 18 points on our turnovers. That's the problem.
Okay, best of luck, Chuck.
Thank you.
And it was actually 20 points off the turnovers, but you talked to the team doctor about Joe Dumars, who you thought was kind of sluggish. What did he say, Hubie?
Yeah, he said that the injury to the groin is all right, but he seems to be fatigued. Yesterday when we talked to Joe, he said he has tired legs. You know, when you chased Reggie Miller, then Michael Jordan, and now all of a sudden you've got Clyde Drexler, who is very, very active tonight. I like the continuity. He's really working Joe over.
You get tired legs from that. Well, Chuck Daly said every night I have a concern of where the offense will come from, and he's got that concern as we start the second half. Duckworth travels. Here are the lineups for Detroit. It's Isaiah Thomas and Dumars at guard, and up front, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, and James Edwards. Portland with their group of Drexler, Terry Porter, Buck Williams, Jerome Kersey, and Duckworth.
See, tonight, Portland is out there contesting the passes. And you have to like that if you enjoy defense.
Thomas knocked away. Boy, Porter has really come on strong in this second quarter and in the early moments of the third.
Well, his leadership has been there tonight. Now, the other night, remember, they played 3.5 just beautifully executed quarters. And then the only trouble is they, like their coach said, they lost their concentration and their intelligence.
Edwards inside. Since he started the game, he has 18 points and is the leading scorer for the Pistons. Detroit's tightened the defense. And they're going to call the foul. No basket and a foul before the movement. And it'll be against Dennis Rodman. It'll be his second.
You'll see here now, this was a switch. Here goes Drexler. Rodman has him. Okay. Now, watch, keep an eye on Rodman now. See, Rodman wants this call all the way, see. He's totally shocked, but he definitely rode Drexler.
Drexler working on Dumars. Buck Williams with the offensive rebound, and he draws the foul, which is just as good as anything.
Well, anytime you crash the board, you always tell your guys, look, when you get the offensive rebound, you're usually inside 8 to 10 feet. If you just gather yourself together, take a high percentage shot, you're either going to score or you're probably going to get fouled.
Edwards committing his second foul, second team foul on Detroit. And here is Linwood Buck Williams, who is a 3-time All-Star. And the Rookie of the Year in the NBA in 1982, and despite all of those things, all he wanted was the recognition to play for in the big show, and that's what he's finally done.
Well, how about the draft that year? The first guy taken when they came out of college was Mark Aguirre. The second guy taken, Isaiah Thomas. The third guy, Buck Williams. All guys are in this game.
He makes both free throws. One time, the Pistons led by 11 in the waning moments of the first quarter. And Duckworth will be called for his third foul. 3 on Duckworth.
See, that time they set a baseline pick for James Edwards. Isaiah Thomas put the pick on Duckworth, and he really put it into Zeke's chest, I tell you.
Duckworth is the first player on either side to pick up 3 personals. A lot of shoving going on between Duckworth and Edwards.
2-man game.
Porter double teaming on Edwards off the side of the board.
Nice defensive positioning by Duckworth that time. He pushed Edwards behind the backboard.
Porter finds Buck Williams. Edwards got a piece of it. Laimbeer with the rebound. Laimbeer had 5 boards in the first half. Isaiah Thomas. There's the quick outlet to Porter in the forecourt, but Detroit gets back. Porter fires a three. These are the rush shots that hurt the Blazers the other night in the latter stages, and a foul against Portland here. It'll be Kersey with his second.
See, early in the game, Portland launched all those quick, long jump shots, fell way behind. They regrouped after a timeout, went to their inside game, all of their continuity, got excellent shot opportunities, and took the lead.
Isaiah Thomas gets his second hoop. By the way, there were only 23 seconds left in the shot clock when Porter threw that three up before. Down to a 4-point game. Traveling called against the glide. And now Detroit's crowd is back in it.
Good defensive positioning that time by the defense. Forced the travel. Now, when you're on the road, you must be careful. You do not want them to get a major run on you. And most important, your guys lose their concentration.
Edwards in good position in the low post. Now it's a 2-point game, and look how fast Detroit has come back. And they've done it with the defense. 20 points for James Edwards. Timeout called by the Blazers.
I've been saying we've got advantages over Japanese cars, but even I didn't know how good we are. An independent testing company asked 100 Americans who would consider Japanese cars to compare a Plymouth Sundance and Dodge Shadow to a Honda Civic. After rating over 30 different categories, 76 out of 100 judged the Sundance and Shadow superior overall to Honda Civic. And they weren't even told our cars are the lowest priced cars in the world with a driver's airbag. Who knows, we might have gotten them all.
I want Tracy dead! A ruthless crime boss. I am the law! Trying to take control. A lone cop determined to stop him.
Tracy! Tracy! Tracy!
I'm rubbing him out. Tracy, watch out! Two powerful forces on a collision course. Only one will survive. Warren Beatty is Dick Tracy, rated PG. Starts Friday, June 15th at a theater near you.
It started here, in a country where tradition is still important, where breweries are handed down, generation to generation, so the old ways are not forgotten, including the traditional way of brewing beer, the way one beer in America still is brewed today. A beer started here more than 200 years ago. Stroh's, fire brewed, family brewed. Some things never change. Some things never should.
One of America's oldest golf championships, played on one of the PGA's toughest golf courses, the Centel Western Open this weekend.
And while the Pistons are making a run here, let's go back to the fourth quarter the other night. Everyone remembers Isaiah Thomas' offensive heroics. But remember, Detroit made it happen with the defense. This was the score, 90-82, with 6:45 remaining. Bill Laimbeer forced a turnover. Then John Sally got into the act. And you remember, the Pistons converted at the other end. The steal by Isaiah Thomas from Terry Porter. These are the things no one talks about when they all talk about the offensive end. And Detroit used just about everyone to get the ball away from Portland, get them out of their game, and come back from a deficit to win the game. And this was the story of how Detroit did it, as they always do, and the missed free throws followed the foul. Portland then called a timeout, but the barn door had been closed.
Very concerned coach, because in that game, Detroit scored on 11 of the last 15 possessions. Portland, 4 of their last 15. And when they went to the foul line, 2 for 7. They just have to play big here right now. Regroup, go back to the continuity that got you going.
Detroit on a 12-2 run since their 12-point deficit late in the second quarter. Thomas. Now Porter drives in, and they'll call the foul against Dennis Rodman. That'll be his 3rd personal foul.
Excellent call. That time, Terry Porter, as he picked up that rebound and started to move. He saw the opening. Rodman was moving. Now, Chuck Daly's frustrated on that because anytime you have the #1 defensive guy in the league, of course you expect him to get every call.
No one gets every call. At least I don't remember anyone. Terry Porter, who is the only non-scholarship player who's invited to the Olympic trials back in 1988 out of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, gave a great account of himself, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Bobby Knight loved him, loved his tenacity, the recognition. It was just a tough team to make that year. And that really set the tone for him to be a high draft choice. And, you know, he's one of the best foul shooters in this league. He's 6th in the league, and he shot 89% for the year.
There's the free throw story here with Portland going the line more than Detroit.
Going back to the two-man game now.
Quick double team, and Lambier open for the moment. Missed the shot, but that's what Detroit wants to have happen. 8.5 remaining in the third. 57-53 Portland. Percy, an air ball. And Thomas can't save it. So it is still Portland's possession.
See, Kersey has been quiet in this ball game so far. He only has 4 points. He is the leading scorer in the playoffs, right around 22 a game, and they need him to get more involved.
Blazers have missed their last 5 attempts. Clyde Drexler, who was hitting from outside early in the game, now has 14 to lead his team.
See, Joe Dumars has him in sight. He's in front of him. But when he elevates, he just shoots over the top of Joe.
6'7" against 6'3" to begin with. James Edwards. Lambier with the offensive rebound and the putback. Blocking out Kersey.
See, when Duckworth steps out to help out, then Buck Williams and Kersey have got to rebound.
And a Portland turnover. Only their 5th of the game. They've been pretty good protecting the ball.
They're doing an excellent job. You know, on that, you know, Rick is very upset. Why? Because you try not to throw the ball to a post-up man until he calls for it, because then he's expecting the pass.
Another one of UB's 10 commandments of big men. It's true. Here is Edwards. Across the lane with a wheeling hook.
Now, let me tell you, that was a beautiful shot. Duckworth did all he could to put pressure on that.
22 points for Edwards. Porter misses. Duckworth gets the foul and the basket as well.
Keep an eye on this. Now, watch how Duckworth bumps, because that's normal pivot play. See, this pushes Edwards off bound. Look at the angle here that he had to come out of that hook. He got a late look at the basket. That's why it was, just a beautiful shot attempt.
Lambier with his 2nd personal foul. And Duckworth with the 3-point play. Remember, he had 12 straight in the 3rd quarter on Tuesday night. He can get hot.
He's had a very impressive 2 games to date. Moving, nice and smooth, taking heady shots.
Percy and Duckworth double team Edwards. Lambier misses.
Look down the floor.
Porter.
There it is.
To Kersey. That's the transition game.
The bench, Chuck is up a little bit over there. Chuck wants a timeout right now. You see, any time that Lambier goes to take the shot, Drexler, who is the rotator, fakes at it and then takes off. Now you'll see, there's Drexler going left, opening up the right lane to Kersey. See, that was a travel right there.
Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good.
So I've checked the mileage, and it's...
Hey, we're the auto lights. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
I feel good. Yeah, 2 years, no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto lights.
But
So go pull the plug on somebody else.
Okay.
I've set the time machine ahead 40 years.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized Miller Genuine Draft.
Don't worry, Judy. I'm sure the future will be a very cool place.
For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
It worked.
The thing that surprised me the most on the Plymouth Sundance was the stability on the road. Handling.
In an independent test, Plymouth Sundance was picked over Honda Civic.
When I first came out onto the parking lot, I thought it was a BMW.
Meet the American that beat the Honda. For overall superiority, Plymouth Sundance beat Honda Civic, and Sundance is the lowest priced car in the world with a driver's airbag. Now it's easy to own a winner with $750 cash back.
Third quarter action back here at the Palace. Blazers on top, 64-57. And out of the 21,000 fans packed into this arena, the loneliest place in the house has to be right up here with about 30 Portland fans. Now, my question is, how lonesome do you feel up here? This is Dave Milner from Portland.
We all feel pretty lonesome. If it wasn't for some people from Ohio that are treating us right, these people from Michigan are treating us terrible.
Detroit hasn't done you any favors by giving you $22 seats way up here.
Boy, I guess, James, you got it. I mean, these seats are terrible. We're getting a nosebleed up here. It's terrible. We're treating them better in Portland, I'll tell you that.
And I guess the question, are they welcome? All right, let's go back downstairs to Dick Stockton.
Well, James Brown, all I can tell those friendly folks, they're heading home for 3 games. So they'll have their chance at home, UB Brown. I guess that's the home court and home fan advantage. Joe Dumars looking for Edwards. Duckworth has 3 fouls. Edwards fall away hits. He's got 24 points, playing one of his best games of the playoffs.
Anytime that they leave it in a one-on-one matchup, Edwards has been able to shoot softly and get his shot. They're going to have to think twice now about going to the double team.
And they're going to call Isaiah Thomas for the foul on Porter. And that'll be the 15th foul on the penalty for Detroit. Thomas with his 2nd personal foul.
Now keep an eye here now. Terry Porter cuts to the basket, and as he gets the ball, watch a little pump fake, got Isaiah up in the air. Excellent move. Anytime that you're down in that position when you receive a beautiful pass in the situation, catching you on the move, regroup.
I want to ask you, Hubie, Detroit went to the line 46 times in game 1, only 9 in the first half tonight.
Yeah, see, in the second half of that game, they had 27 foul shot attempts. That's because they were owning their own offensive board. And anytime they got the offensive rebound, they were being fouled. Plus, off the dribble, Dumars and Isaiah Thomas going to the basket, put them on the line quite a few times. We are not seeing that so far tonight.
There you see the difference at the line. 66-59, Portland. Nearly halfway through this 3rd period. Dumars will settle for the jumper and hit it. Only the 9th point for Dumars, who did score 20 in game 1. Feed inside to Buck Williams. He beat Lane Beer in and was pushed by Bill. And that should be number 3 on Lane Beer.
See, that was an excellent pass once again by Drexler. What we're having here is any time that Portland makes a cut from the opposite side of the floor, they are ahead of the Pistons. They're catching the Pistons, watching the basketball on the opposite wing.
Buck Williams was acquired for Sam Bowie. Interestingly enough, Bowie was drafted by the Blazers over Michael Jordan in a controversial draft. Interesting that Buck and that draft pick made it to the finals before Michael Jordan did.
Yeah, and also there's a first-round draft pick involved in that came to be Mookie Blaylock out of Oklahoma.
Right. 6-point lead. It's still Pistons ball. 5:42 remaining in the 3rd.
See, the turnovers have been being forced. You have to like the tenacity tonight by Portland. They're really getting out and challenging.
Thomas with a good shot in the lane, no one around him. Couldn't do it, and Kersey with the rebound.
There's that cutter again.
Buck Williams. No foul there. Edwards maintained his position. Now the Pistons, who led by 11 in the 1st quarter, trailed by 12 in the 2nd.
This is really a fight for position. Duckworth and Edwards.
Edwards. Short this time, but there's Thomas blocked. And it was Kersey and Duckworth. No foul.
See, now keep an eye on this. There's a loose ball. There goes your shot by Isaiah and the block and out of bounds.
Technical foul has been called on Chuck Daly.
Correction. Technical foul is on Brendan Sir.
Make it Brendan Sir, the assistant coach. He was the man hit by Jack Madden with the technical. There's Brendan, who looks kind of docile right now.
Yeah, well, anytime that you have a point guard, you know, the Detroit guards are excellent on the offensive boards, meaning Isaiah Thomas, who had 7 rebounds in game 1, and also Vinnie Johnson. You must be aware of them. They sneak in, they get it, and they go right back up in traffic.
Porter is 8 for 8 from the line tonight. Watching NBA Commissioner David Stern. We had Vice President Dan Quayle earlier, who was with Pat O'Brien. Pistons haven't attempted anything from the free throw line in the second half. Duckworth picking up Thomas in a push, and that'll be number 4 on Duckworth. And Isaiah Thomas. And they did count the basket. It was a continuation.
No basket.
No basket.
No basket.
You see, right now,
can't be a basket.
Right, anytime there's a pick and roll, you're seeing that Duckworth is stepping out. Now, he just picked up a foul that time because they're trapping. Isaiah heard the whistle, continued, and then took the shot.
And he even dribbled, so that's certainly no continuation. Cooper. Wayne Cooper has replaced Duckworth, who's out with 4 fouls now.
We said at the beginning of the game, this is a big matchup tonight, Isaiah and Porter.
They double Edwards, and a foul on him. That is the 14th foul against Portland, 2nd on Wayne Cooper. Cooper involved in a big trade many years ago. He went to Denver along with Calvin Natt and Lafayette Lever for Kiki Vandeweghe, a trade that was great for Denver. Thomas trying to get a foul somehow, gets nothing. And he ties up Buck Williams. Beautiful move by Isaiah.
See, Buck is frustrated because when he got that rebound, he brought it down right around his waist. He's a little upset right now. Isaiah went right into that and tied him up, because if he could have passed out of that, they had a 4-man fast break.
And Detroit's going to control. They knew where to go with it. Oh, they tried to get it into Rodman, and Kersey got a piece of it.
2 great defensive plays. Lambier cut off the tap, and Kersey stole the pass.
Porter finds Buck Williams. Rebound by Rodman. Outlet pass to Dumars. Ahead of the field is Thomas. He's in 3-point territory. Kersey covers it. Edwards posting up against Cooper. He's got 24, does Edwards. Goes into Porter. Buck Williams in there, releasing early as he's done many times tonight. Clyde Drexler.
See, he takes off. Portland, once again, like we said the other night, you've got to take care of the defensive rebound first. Now, Isaiah, they're doing an excellent job at rotating and taking the lane away from Isaiah and forcing a bad shot attempt.
Joe Dumars from outside, but Portland Trailblazers, who had their lead cut to 2, have really fended off Detroit to this point with that much time remaining in the 3rd period.
Buck needs a field goal.
Porter lost it momentarily, and they're going to call Isaiah with the foul. That'll be his 3rd. Coming into the game for the Pistons, they got the rebounder and shot blocker and the scorer.
Now you'll see. Now watch off on this handoff right now. Here is Isaiah. Terry goes to lose it. It drops back. Now there's Zeke pushing in the back. See, that's the reason for the call. Hugh Hollins right on top of the play.
John Sally and Vinnie Johnson have checked in for the Pistons. And Vinnie Johnson is one man who the Pistons really need to get going. He was 0 for 6 in the last game, 0 for 10 in game 6 against Chicago, and really didn't play much or shoot well in the first half tonight.
Well, he's concerned, but not that concerned. He thinks that the shots are right in the basket. They're just not falling. once again, you know, Terry Porter playing big.
11 for 11 from the stripe.
Yeah, they're looking for Vinnie Johnson. They want to get him off going.
Edwards trying to keep it alive on Dumas' miss. Still Pistons ball.
Portland rebounded that, and they had 4 guys underneath them. When you're coaching, you're happy with that kind of effort. You know, they bumped into Drexler and knocked him out of bounds, but that's okay. You like it when you see the 4 black shirts back in there, everyone helping out.
4 Pistons in double figures. Edwards leads with 24. Steal, bad pass by Vinnie Johnson. Drexler going all the way against Vinnie, and is fouled.
Boy, what an anticipation. Did he cover ground on that steal?
The free throw line has been a favorite for Portland. They've missed just 1. Detroit still has not gone to the line here with 2:57 to go in the third.
Now remember, in the first half, Portland was 7 for 9 on the line. See, this quarter, once again, they're staying to their offense, and then when they're getting in the open floor or a second shot, they're challenging the rim.
Danny Young, he saw come in the game at point guard. Mark Aguirre will replace James Edwards, who gets a big hand going out with 24 points. That last foul was on Vinnie Johnson, his third. So right now, the Pistons are looking for offense, and they've got Vinnie Johnson and Aguirre in there. They've got to get it from those 2, and hopefully Dumas as well.
Well, remember what the Portland coaching staff said. They're going right at Aguirre and Vinnie Johnson at the other end of the floor.
Drexler won't let Vinnie Johnson get the shot off, and Sally goes up and is fouled by Wayne Cooper. Both teams are in the penalty. Well, John Sally's the kind of guy for the Pistons the last 2 years has raised the level of his play from the regular season to the playoffs. This is what he's done this year. Look at all the categories.
At the bottom there, you see the 75% on the free throws. The real telling story is that he's coming off the bench in 23 minutes and getting his 6+ foul shot attempts. That means he's coming in, he's being very active, not only rebounding and blocking shots where he leads your team, but he's making it happen offensively.
Sally, 1 out of 2 with the first free throw attempts for the Pistons here in the quarter. 73-64. The lead is 9 for the Blazers.
See, they're going to go right at Aguirre here, clearing it out for Kersey.
Kersey goes around him. He had the opportunity. Now Detroit coming back.
Remember, Aguirre's a big 3-point shooter.
Aguirre throws up the air ball. And you know, Portland's defense was terrific there. They didn't let the Pistons get anything going.
Now, see, Aguirre is upset on that. He said, I was either fouled or he got a piece of the ball, so it should be ours on the baseline. That's what he's complaining about.
Both teams shooting now under 50%. Portland with the slight edge. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Clyde Drexler. And it's last touched by Cooper. We're at the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan, in Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Trail Blazers and the Pistons. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown, Pat O'Brien and James Brown also with us, and Portland leading here, trying to even the series at 1 apiece. Brown trying to get into it and urge the Pistons on, who trail. Dumas foul going into the hoop. If you've just joined us, Detroit uncharacteristically turning the ball over, Portland taking advantage. Isaiah Thomas and Clyde Drexler are the leading scorers, and as a result of turnovers, Portland has been able to fast break to a 19-6 edge.
Portland has dominated by running their offense almost to perfection. They're freeing their people for excellent shot opportunities. With the turnovers, they are running the floor and converting at a high rate. Already over 20 points they've scored in transition. Detroit struggling, but now's the time for them, if they are going to do it, to crank up the defense.
Jerome Kersey committed his third foul and went out. Cliff Robinson has replaced him. Double team on Drexler. Dumars has him alone now. 9 on the shot clock. Danny Young. Drexler off balance. And they're going to call the foul against the Detroit Pistons inside. And it'll be Bill Laimbeer's 4th personal foul.
See, now that is a break because of the shot clock going down. Drexler had to release a very difficult shot. As the rebound comes off, Detroit far outnumbered Portland. You knew you were going to get it, and then you pick up the foul. Now, you know, Laimbeer is not what we call a leaper. Like Chuck says, he has difficulty jumping over the lines of paint on the floor. But he is a terrific defensive rebounder because he will put his body on people and move you out by using his hands.
Laimbeer will go out with 4, and James Edwards, who is the top scorer for the Pistons, and along with Thomas, the only one really giving him any kind of offense tonight, checking back in. Portland has 4 players in double figures, led by Drexler, 17. Edwards with 24 points. Vinnie Johnson still can't get going with under a minute to go. 8-point lead. That's what it was at the half. Portland in front. They were down by 7 after 1 quarter. Cliff Robinson. And a Piston foul. It'll be against Mark Aguirre.
It's a strong move that time by Cliff. He's 6'10". He has an excellent stride. He handles the ball real well. Mark Aguirre very upset, thought that he had the block that time because he felt that Cliff was behind the backboard and had to bring the shot to him.
Here's Robinson, and you notice Terry Porter has been the cheerleader of the night for the Trailblazers over on the bench.
See, Robinson is you know, a very poor foul shooter. He's only shooting 56% in the playoffs, and he gets an awful lot of opportunities.
Well, the Pistons now go on offense, having missed 9 of their last 10, Hubie.
First time tonight, we see a 2-2-1 zone press being employed by Portland. That's because the shot clock is coming down. We're nearing the end of the quarter.
11 seconds on the shot clock. Dumars lost control of it. Vinnie Johnson is hemmed in nicely. An illegal defense called against Portland. It's a technical. That's the 3rd time it's been called against the Blazers.
Well, right now, Rick Adelman looked at that and said, hey, wait a second. He said, you know, I thought that was a loose ball. That's why he's frustrated right now. The ball definitely kicked off Dumars as it was rolling, and when Vinny made the pass, they caught Portland rotating in their defense.
Shot clock is off with just under 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. You know, if you say Adelman again, Gladys is really going to get upset. Rick's mom. You know, she'll be calling you at the hotel.
I've apologized to Rick how many times? About 105.
You know, we know you know his name. All right, it's playing for the last shot. Dumars against Drexler. Goes high. Layup with 5 seconds to go. That was a tremendous play by Joe Dumars.
There's time.
Here's Cliff Robinson missing at the buzzer. And it's a 6-point lead.
Keep an eye on Joe Dumars now. Now watch Portland, how quickly they get to this. Watch the height of this shot. Look where it hit on the glass.
But it was Terry Porter again, and he's got 13 points in the game, and that's the end of the 3rd period. The Trailblazers 75 and the Pistons 69 will return to the Palace after this message and a word from your local station.
There's a newfangled daddy coming down the street, a modern mama moving to the beat. In a high-tech world, you need an oasis, a place where you can get back to basics. Food, folks, and fun. Mindful fun. Food, folks, and fun. McDonald's. You go to one McDonald's. Food, folks, and fun.
It's been said that a good beer is like a good man. If you look beneath the surface, invariably, the best will come shining through. Smooth, never bitter Miller beer.
By that man, a Miller beer, the best comes shining through.
This is CBS.
You know, folks, this is my 4th year with the Metro Detroit Ford dealers. And as always, it's great to be associated with the winner, especially in my case.
Now get 7-9 financing for up to 48 months or $900 cash back on Taurus. Plus 7-9 financing for up to 48 months or $900 back on Tempo.
4 winning years, and the deals just keep getting better and better.
Blackwell, Plymouth and Haggerty, Gorno, Allen North of West Road, Troy Ford, John R. South of Maple, Stark Hickey West, 7 Mile and Grand River.
Total Recall is a total blockbuster. Fasten your seatbelts and hold on to your hats. It's a slam-bang thriller. Get ready for the big surprise. Don't miss the thrill ride of the summer. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Total Recall, rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
MC Hammer's new rap for the Pistons, exclusively on TV2 after the game.
Lucas bats the ball away, keeps it alive, over to Warden. Lucas with a steal, Warden. Oh, it's a fire! Oh, baby! He is fouled!
Walt Clyde Frazier. Frazier goes behind the back on Maravich, has the step, and beats him with the left hand.
NBA action has always been fantastic.
Auburn Hills and the 1990 NBA Finals, and inside, the crowd here getting ready to send their team onto the floor for the 4th period. Portland leads 75-69 as we begin the 4th. Sunday here on CBS, Game 3 at 3:30 Eastern Time. We are going to Portland, Oregon for 3 games as part of the 2-3-2 system. The Sunday at 3:30, Tuesday at 9 o'clock, Thursday and on if necessary. Let's send you down to James Brown now. James?
All right, Patrick, a little bit of the script from Game 1 down on the Portland bench. Terry Porter told his teammates, fellas, we've been here before. Let's take care of the ball this quarter and get out of here. Down on the Detroit bench, it was not Chuck Daly, the tactician, but Chuck the motivator. He started screaming and exhorting his players, saying, fellas, we can't expect 2 miracles in a row. Let's go back to Dick.
Well, Chuck Daly said Game 1 was a great hang-around game. You hang around and maybe pull it out. This may be one of those hang-around games, Hubie, as we start the 4th period.
Yeah, they're gone right inside to the guy who's been carrying him tonight.
And a push against Wayne Cooper to start it off.
Anytime that you're playing a post guy, the referees will call that foul every time when you use your hands in his lower back. The best thing to do is put that forearm across the back and move him out that way. So you're stronger. You're much stronger.
So Cooper, Hubie, and Duckworth, the 2 centers, both with 4. Pick and roll situation. Here's Edwards. Too low on the line drive. Edwards saves it, though, nicely. Good hustle by the big 7-footer. Sally going in and draws the foul.
Cooper first had a great block.
And that'll be 5 on Cooper.
Sally, his attack of the basket was just absolutely sensational. Last year, I thought that was a flaw in his game. He never ended. He didn't go strong to the basket. This year, he attacks with authority, and he's being rewarded with either the dunk or getting fouled into the lane.
Coming into the game, first appearance in the finals is Mark Bryant. Did not play in Game 1, second year out of Seton Hall. Had to withstand some personal tragedy of his own, the death of his mother and aunt in an auto accident in February. He's a strong, good inside player, according to Rick Adelman, who rarely makes a mistake.
Well, they say he's an excellent shooter. He's an avid weightlifter, strong upper body, and they like him because he's a good defensive player.
Well, this crowd's in it now. Down by 4 are the Pistons. See how the Blazers respond. Bryant keeps it alive.
Nice rebound. It came from behind the backboard.
Robinson, Young, Bryant, Williams, and Drexler in there for Portland.
Plenty of time. 12 seconds on the shot clock.
Crowd would love him to rush, though, and Robinson puts it up. He rushed. Rebound, Sally. Here comes Thomas against the black jerseys. Aguirre.
Now, this is where you must regroup. They need the leadership now, not only on the floor, but at the bench.
That was Aguirre's first basket of the game. He had 18 in the first contest. Danny Young comes back, and that's a big crowd quieter.
What I liked about that, Drexler sucked up the defense off the dribble. Everyone came to him, and he found the free player. That's the way to play. That's heady basketball.
Aguirre again and again. It was Thomas in game one. Aguirre getting hot right now.
You've got to get to him now. In the last couple of games of Chicago, plus game one, he has the feel. He's on a roll.
Drexler against Edwards. And a foul against James Edwards. The first team foul against Detroit. Edwards has 3, and Drexler can feel it on his head.
You have to love Drexler's game tonight. He's been challenging this defensive man every time, right from the get-go.
Indy 1990. Chevy paced the race, and for the 3rd year in a row, a Chevy Indy V8 engine has powered the Indy 500 winner. Chevy salutes champion Ari Luyendyk and Chevy-powered drivers Bobby Rahal, Emerson Fittipaldi, Al Unser Jr., Rick Mears, A.J. Foyt, and Eddie Cheever. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Last time, it blew you through the back wall of the theater. This time, it'll blow you sky high. On July 4th, Die Harder. Bruce Willis, Die Hard 2. Opens Wednesday, July 4th at theaters everywhere.
Whoa! This is the valley, Rebecca. Here we can start our new life.
And with hard work, the land will give us all we need. Because this is home.
In the movies, happy endings are easy. But in the real world, they take solid planning. So for investment advice, peace of mind, even buying or selling a home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Mark Aguirre of the Pistons, a superstar who was a starter at forward. He went to the bench and has had to accept this role.
Our team wasn't right with me in the starting lineup. It just wasn't right. You know, we had a bunch of guys that just could put numbers on the board out there. And I'm not a stopper by any means, you know, by any means whatsoever. I'm not a great rebounder. And we had none on the floor. And Dennis amazed me every day because I play against him. And I kind of think I'm one of the hardest people to guard. I think I'm hard to guard. And I would have problems and problems with this guy. And I was like, you know, I talked to Dennis, I talked to Isaiah, I said, I think he needs to start. I get an overall chance at it again to just be a winner, you know, and to come in here and just let these guys know, look, this is me, take me as me. And they did.
But, you know, you look at Mark Aguirre's career. I mean, here's a guy, 9 years, he averaged 24 points a game, a 3-time All-Star on the Olympic team. And when he gets here, they tell him, listen, change your attitude, lose some weight, shoot less, sit more, and you better play defense. That's all.
He's done a lot of that. And remember, 3 years ago, it was Adrian Dantley who was the starting forward for the Pistons when they just came up short in 7 games to the Lakers. They were up 3 games to 2, remember, in that final.
Remember, this is a team, Detroit, 6 guys in double figures, and they only average 100 points. So they spread the wealth.
And you never know which guy's going to come up each night to do it offensively.
Well, see, they're going right here. They feel that Edwards has a mismatch there.
With Bryant.
Right.
And they're going to call the foul. So already for Portland, that'll be 3 team fouls against the Trailblazers. And for Young, it'll be his second. Danny Young.
See, that smart basketball, Dick. Force the double team. And if Edwards can take Bryant one-on-one, get the foul. Because you want to get in that penalty situation early. We still have 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
You feel this is a hang-around game like Chuck likes?
Oh, this is it.
Aguirre goes up. No goaltending is the call, but a foul against the Blazers. Their 4th team foul.
Well, we're having a conversation here right now. Chuck Daly challenging the call. You'll see the drive on the replay. Chuck very upset about this one. Now watch to your right as Cliff Robinson is coming here for the shot block. See, he catches it on the way up. Our angle was perfect on that shot.
Jerome Kersey now with 4 personal fouls. Some of the Blazers in foul trouble now. Wayne Cooper has 5. Duckworth and Kersey each with 4. Lane Beer has 4 for the Pistons. Globetrotters trick with everyone with the fake one in the lane.
He had 3 guys in the lane on 2 times.
Everything but a string on the ball, a rubber band. 2-point game, the Blazers lead.
There's a clear out.
Sally on Kersey. Sally blocks the shot into the hands of Thomas. Sally blocked 4 the other night. Aguirre for 3. Loose ball, and there's Isaiah.
This is where Portland must play big. The other evening, the same thing happened. Detroit would shoot, miss, get the rebound.
And an offensive foul as Cliff Robinson goes flying.
Cliff Robinson did an excellent defensive job on David Robinson in that series when Portland defeated San Antonio and they were without their centers. Now they have Robinson down in here. See, Edwards is backing into him and he's holding. See, he caught him with that left arm that time. And you know, even if they didn't call that, Drexler had a steal on that pass.
Right. Duckworth back in with 4 personal fouls. That was the 4th personal on Edwards.
Now, the other evening, they went away from their inside game. They took too many jump shots. Let's see if they work the continuity and stay with what got them here.
Duckworth has Isaiah Thomas on him, deflected away, and with 6 seconds to go, it is still Portland's ball.
See, on that pick and roll, Detroit keeps switching. Why? Because Duckworth does not roll to the basket. He has a guard on him. He has this guard that's switching out. He keeps drifting, looking for the jump shot.
Porter hits a 2-point basket. 15 points for Porter, who did not score in the first quarter tonight.
Yeah, but he's done everything else.
Oh, I know.
He's been everywhere. Excellent defense, forcing turnovers, working hard.
Thomas low to Aguirre against Kersey, who has 4 fouls. Edwards has his shot blocked. Vinnie Johnson, he really is struggling. This has been a miserable first 2 games.
3-on-2.
Cliff Robinson. And Bill Laimbeer now, or is it, let's check to see who it is. Either one, it'll be 5, and it'll be Edwards with 5. And for the Pistons, it would have been better off Laimbeer because they need the points they're getting from Edwards. Vinnie Johnson goes out, Dumar's in.
See, that was Portland at its best. As soon as Robinson rebounded, he can really handle a basketball at 6'10". Put it on the floor, cleared the pack, made the outlet, and here they go, 3-on-2.
Vinnie Johnson left 1 for 4 from the field, continues to have his problems as Laimbeer replaces Edwards.
The big test tonight, down the wire. Portland must make their foul shots. The other evening, only 2 for 7 under pressure once they got inside of 6 minutes.
And 5 in a row they missed at a crucial time.
Hey, hold.
7 for 1. 5-point Blazer lead, a lot of time remaining. Portland trying to win one on the road before going home for 3.
They got Try to go over and post up Aguirre.
Against the rookie, Robinson. Double team on Aguirre. He's in trouble. Just got over. Tipped up. Let's see, was it Dumars or Lambeer?
Lambeer, right? Wow. Worked his way right down inside.
You're right, he's got 9. Steal. Thomas anticipated the pass from Porter. Throws it in the hands of Robinson, but they're going to call a Portland foul, and they will be in the penalty now.
Now here's a forced shot by Aguirre. Now you'll see to the right. Here's Lambeer being pushed, but he gets up, and he gets that one in. This last play that we had when Isaiah Thomas went down in there, excellent transition defense by Portland to force him to give up the ball. But then he was fouled once he continued down the lane.
Drazen Petrovic in the game. Buck Williams will come in now for Cliff Robinson. Who would have ever thought that through 2 games of this series, Detroit would have the edge in offensive rebounds over the Trailblazers, best in the league?
Well, the best overall rebounding team, #1. By the way, Cliff Robinson did an excellent job, made a major contribution tonight.
Thomas Rare misses both free throws, and it's still a 3-point Blazer lead.
Now, the last time when Petrovic was on the floor, they ran a lot of stagger screen, double screens, and really got him involved. Here they're trying to go to Kersey so that he would take Aguirre.
But Detroit's defense, you saw what they've done to the Blazers in this quarter. Petrovic with a runner. He has played very well tonight, and he has 8 points.
See, he's murder off the dribble. That's how he played in Europe. They give him the basketball, let him dribble around and take you. He's very clever, crossing over, delayed dribble, staggering.
Dumars, Thomas, Aguirre. Rebound by Duckworth, knocked away by Dumars.
Easy.
Foul will be called against Portland. Duckworth with the elbow. Let's see.
Don't get a technical foul now.
That'll be 5 on him.
See, he came down in traffic. Now watch what happens. See, he gets fouled there. He feels, but the referee, who was right there on the call, said he hit with the elbow.
I'll tell you, good thing for Buck Williams, the team leader, to get him away so that he wouldn't pick up a technical.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates sponsored by the U.S. Army. The Detroit Pistons' Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars form one of the NBA's most potent guard tandems. Isaiah uses his explosive quickness to create scoring opportunities for his backcourt mate, while Dumars displays his uncanny shooting touch in finishing the play. Blending their abilities, teammates Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas work to be the best they can be.
According to a national survey, employers are looking for people who can handle heavy responsibilities. People with the ability to overcome obstacles, perform under pressure, and work well with others. Men and women with the pride and self-discipline it takes to reach new heights. Which is why some of the most successful people in the white-collar world start off green.
The blood supply. Safety fears have people storing their own, but what does this mean for blood banks? The story tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Well, Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, the concluding game of the 44th College World Series from Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Tonight, Oklahoma State trounced LSU 14-3. So the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, Stanford, and Georgia, each with 1 loss remain. And following the game, CBS will present third-round coverage of the Centel Western Open live from the Butler National Golf Club in Oak Brook, Illinois, where Lauren Roberts and Ray Stewart have the lead after the first round of the tournament. Right now, let's send you over to James Brown.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. Obviously, this is the crucial point where Portland was in Game 1. Coach Rick Adelman is telling the guys simply be patient, take your time. We can work them offensively. I had a chance to talk to Terry Porter before the game. He said, tonight, JB, I studied the films of Isaiah Thomas for 2 hours. I know I can take him. I asked him on what move. He said, you'll just have to watch and see. Let's go back over to Dick.
Duckworth's foul. Here it is. It is not a shooting situation.
Right, they're calling an offensive foul here. See, he feels he was hit The referee's angle said that it was an offensive foul as he was clearing out. Duckworth felt that he was hit first. That's why, you know, he acted the way he did. And you could see, we see Aguirre hitting him first before the contact.
So Cooper with 5 replaces Duckworth, who's on the bench with 5, and just about halfway through this final period. Laimbeer hits a 2. It's a 2-point basket. Laimbeer wanted 3, but he was on the line.
See, once again, they double team with Laimbeer's man, and they do not cover. That's the first pass.
Laimbeer earlier had missed from out there. Kersey runs it up, and Williams with the offensive rebound.
Smart play by Buck. Get it out and set up.
Drexler fires away and hits. I guess they're always good when you hit those long-range shots here.
They're nice when you make them. Watch out. We have Aguirre squaring off here with Kersey. A little woofing going on right now. And through this whole thing, Drexler is just jiving with Sally because he said, I got fouled on my shot. He was asking for a foul in the chest.
Here's the time. Kersey playing up on Laimbeer. Thomas with 5 seconds on the shot clock. And Cooper got a hand on it. Kicked away.
Oh,
kicked away, and a great play by Porter as he knocked it in the last second over to Kersey.
Wow.
Otherwise, it would have been Detroit ball.
What a terrific effort.
They got 10 on the clock. 5 minutes to go in the 4th period. Laimbeer gets a hand on it. Thomas lines up in the 3rd row.
Now you'll see it was a block of the pass, and now you have the loose ball. Watch this effort. Look at this, and then the presence to push it to one of your teammates. Only 4 seconds on the clock.
That's the new rule, which really rewards defense this year instead of going back to 5 seconds.
That's an excellent rule.
Here's Buck Williams. Porter has to fire a 3, an air ball, but Thomas was nose-to-nose with him on that shot.
If you're Detroit now, you stay within your power game. You're basically posting up Aguirre and then hoping for double teams. If you're Portland now, you have to make up your mind how you are going to double team in this situation. Now, this is a pick and roll.
Sally is setting the pick. Thomas going up against Porter with a runner. What a great shot, and he's going away to the left side of the floor.
Can't defend that any better than Terry Porter did.
20 for Isaiah. Porter over Thomas. Rebound by Isaiah. Here he comes with the Pistons down by 3. And it was last touched by Dumars.
Now you'll see here, Isaiah fakes the pick and roll, and here he comes. Now watch this release. How about that for a shot?
Going away, Isaiah Thomas with 20. And I don't think we've seen the last of number 11 in this one.
Minutes and 16 seconds left in the 4th period. Portland leads Detroit 86-83. Pat O'Brien up here on top, and we'll get you back to the game in a moment, but there's some late news on the Boston coaching front. The Charlotte Observer is reporting that Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski will stay at Duke University instead of taking the Boston Celtics head coaching job. A story we'll keep you up to date on, a press conference scheduled for tomorrow. So Dick and Hubie, the hunt continues for a coaching job for the Boston Celtics. Back to you guys.
All right, Pat, thank you. We're at the Palace, Auburn Hills, Michigan, and we have a scintillating game 2 in progress with 4:16 to go. Portland leading 86-83, trying to even this series. Timeouts are even. Each team with 3 plus a 20. Portland has no fouls to give, but the Pistons have 2.
Now, Portland is coming back right now with Duckworth. Now, remember, he'll be in the ball game with 5 fouls.
And they got Porter, Drexler, Kersey, and Buck Williams with him.
Porter wants everyone to go down the floor, let him take Isaiah, get it up, and start the offense.
This is where the Pistons stopped Portland, reduced them to outside shooting in game 1.
There's a clear out.
Here's Kersey, long range, misses. Dumars the rebound. So the half-court offense didn't work for Portland in one. See if it does them in again here.
Well, give Detroit some credit that time.
Oh, that's all the credit.
Right, they took Drexler away in that one-on-one situation.
86-83. Lane Beer is open. And he ties the game.
When you double team, you must take away the first pass out of the double team. Lambier has been open all night.
He missed early, but he's been hitting lately.
Yes,
Lambier goes down. Duckworth going up, and they're going to call a traveling call against Duckworth. The last time the Pistons had a tie was early in the second period at 32 all.
See, you're Portland right now. You're not getting anything out of the down inside game. That time, Lambier fell to the floor. Duckworth had a clear move, but he couldn't seem to get himself together to get off a good high percentage shot.
Now Detroit looking for the first lead since right around the same time early in the second.
Now this is pick and roll.
They lost sight of Dumars. Lane Beer again. Lane Beer with another three. And the Pistons are up with under 3 minutes to play. Drexler fires away, and he hits a three to tie it up. A shootout going on here.
That was a big time shot. Detroit played the pick and roll soft, and that just opened up for Clyde.
Plenty of timeouts remain for both sides. Sally lost the ball. And they're going to jump it up with Duckworth. The Lambiers hit 2 in a row from three-point land.
See, now watch. You'll see the double team leaving Lambier right open. See, they're going to have to make an adjustment from here to the end of the game. There's Clyde's shot right there. Beautiful. He stepped right up and said, I'm looking for the three, right from the catch.
Drexler with 24, and that was the first three-point basket for Portland tonight. Sally and Duckworth. 2:25 remaining. Detroit still with 2 fouls to give. Thomas slices through the defense to get a basket to break the tie again.
I'm telling you, he's got the guts of a burglar. That opened up, and he split their 2 big men to get that shot off.
22 for Isaiah.
Must go to your strength.
Porter and a whistle. And Isaiah Thomas commits the foul. That'll be his 4th.
Now watch how Isaiah splits this right here. Here he is going in. He splits the 2 guys, lays it up, gets hit on top of the head. He'll take the field goal. Here it is again, another shot. Look at that. Look how he split, got down inside.
Not as spectacular as game 1, but as efficient. His heroics here.
See, Sally's trying to step in. They have a stack on the left side of the lane. Sally's trying to step in between the 2 players. Chuck trying to encourage the defense. You're Portland now. You want to get your best move. They're double screening. Nice cut off.
Inside to Williams. Blocked by Sally. And Sally makes another big defensive play. Tell you, Portland needed 25 points in this 4th quarter to get to 100. They have 14 right now. Thomas again. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Another defensive knockout for the Detroit Pistons. This is what they did last year in the finals. This is what they've done so far, limiting teams to those points. It is amazing. And right now, Portland has scored only 14 in this final quarter. 5 fouls on Jerome Kersey. Thomas has missed 3 in a row from the line.
See, when you're at this time in the playoffs, you must be able to run a half-court offense to free up your 3 best scorers in areas where they can get a high percentage shot.
And a 3-point lead, and Portland now with 2 timeouts in the 20 will talk it over.
Sports announcer Jim Rooker holds the record for the longest walk in baseball history.
We were ahead 10-zip, and I said on air, if we blow this one, I'll walk home.
They blew it. Home was Pittsburgh, 300 miles away.
I was taught to keep my word. Wish I'd been taught to keep my mouth shut.
To Jim Rooker, whose walk raised thousands for charity, we offer our best. Smooth, never bitter, Miller beer.
Could have been worse. Could have been playing in California.
Nobody can give you a price to repair your exhaust system until they check from here to here. At Midas, you get a free inspection, then a guaranteed estimate with a price you can believe. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Here's the new double cheeseburger pizza from Pizza Hut. Check this out. It's heaped with beef topping and cheese, and when I get one for $8.99, I get a second for just $4 more. So tomorrow's breakfast is already made. Pizza Hut, making it great.
Chevrolet introduces the bigger-than-ever four-door Chevy S10 Blazer. Now America's best-loved sport utility vehicle gives you 25% more cargo room and 100% more doors. The bigger-than-ever, better-than-ever 1991 four-door S10 Blazer. Open one up and see why nobody's winning like
Heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
The battle for the national title. The 44th College World Series Championship. Live this weekend on CBS Sports Saturday.
We're back at the Palace. No place like home. The theme as we started tonight, and that's been the case for Portland. 9-0 in the playoffs at home. The Detroit Pistons 10-0, including 14 straight dating back to last year. Detroit with one foul to give with 1:41 to go. Has hit their last five, but it's been their defense that has brought them back from what was a 12-point deficit at one time and a lead of 3. Right now, let's quickly go over to James Brown. JB?
All right, Dick, in the Portland huddle this time, a lot of exhortation as far as defense on the offensive end. Adelman is very upset that they're taking the outside shots. Look for Clyde Drexler on the baseline. That's the first option on this play. Let's go back to Dick.
Drexler will inbound. He's got Duckworth, Williams, Kersey, and Porter. Rodman is in the game for the Pistons. Nice. They get Porter inside, and he's snuck around the back door. And a one-point game.
That was another excellent pass by Drexler. You know, it's a part of his game that is very underrated.
Lead is 1. Sally working against Duckworth. Wrestling for the loose ball. It was Sally and Drexler, and right on the line was Jack Madden, last deflected by Drexler.
Now you see, Sally shot this ball. Now here it is right here. He's taking it there. It is. It slips right out of Drexler's hand. His left hand hit it last.
Aguirre has replaced Rodman for the offense. They'll want Rodman in for the D. 21 on the shot clock. That's the game clock you see.
You have a clear out here.
Thomas against Porter. Kersey ready to help. Plenty of time to shoot it. Now Kersey comes over. Lane Beer has Aguirre. Tipped up. Basket counts. It was John Sally with the tip in and a foul. And Duckworth is fouled out of the game. That's number 6.
See, that's being active. Now watch as the shot goes up. Watch to the left. Here's Sally right there, working hard with Duckworth, but he had the agility to get up there at that tough angle. Now just watch the angle. He's blocking Duckworth out, and he just goes to that side, loses his balance, and makes the score.
And Chuck Daly says that is from heaven. Duckworth is fouled out. He scored 14 points and had 8 rebounds. It's 94 to 91, and a big free throw coming up right now because that would put him out of the range right now of a three-point basket.
All right, now remember, you're at 49 seconds. You're the Blazers. You're down 3. You have 2 timeouts and a 20. Now you have the option of calling timeout, moving it to half court, or getting it in quickly and move it up the floor. That's your option.
Sally, 3 for 4 from the line. Misses. And a timeout called by Portland. They have 1 left and a 20. So the lead is 3.
See, they did not advance that ball. They caught the rebound and held it. And by not advancing it, you can call a timeout and move the ball to half court.
Did you know that there is a belief in business today that some long-distance companies can save you lots of money over AT&T? But this has grown way out of proportion, especially if you're a small business. Look at it this way. When you compare the other guys' long-distance rates next to AT&T long-distance, you'll find you can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices. And there's nothing inflated about that.
Hello?
Value, another AT&T advantage.
Time for the All-State Good Hands Award. Based on his total rebounds, steals, and assist-to-turnover ratio during the Eastern Conference playoffs, Michael Jordan had the best hands in the NBA. And this deft steal and breakaway dunk is just one reason we can say, good hands, Michael. That's the All-State Good Hands Award. And remember, you're in good hands with All-State, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
What happens when bad things happen to good people who rent? If they have Allstate Renters Insurance, the Good Hands people could replace their things just the way they were. Do you rent? Call an Allstate agent. You'll rest easier knowing you're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate.
There's the story here at the Palace. Detroit leading by 3 with 47.8 seconds to go. But keep in mind, as Rick Adelman talks to his team in the huddle, that the Pistons still have 1 foul to give.
Good strategy there, Dick. You have the foul to give if you're Detroit. Now, you're Portland. You must get the ball inbounds. You have 1 timeout and a 20 seconds. So if you can't get it in, you use the 20 seconds. You do not need a 3-point field goal. And the reason for that is this. With 47 seconds, if you can score quickly, Detroit would be forced to shoot the basketball within 24 seconds. You now would get another possession to make your move.
Drazen Petrovic has come in the game, the good outside shooter. He's 4 for 4 this evening, and Rodman, for defensive purposes, is checked in for Detroit.
Now remember, Petrovic is the 3rd leading percentage 3-point shooter in the league. Terry Porter, though, is their #1 in 3-point attempts. But like we said, you do not need a definite 3 to start out with.
They got a 25-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Drexler going all the way in and is fouled. They use very little time, and Clyde will shoot 2.
Excellent basketball. That's good strategy. Give it to Clyde. Let him take you from the top of the circle. If anyone double teams, he can dish off to someone, or if he wants, he can force the action and get fouled.
Drexler was 3 for 4 from the line in this game. And that's what really hurt him down the stretch in Tuesday's game. Petrovic goes out, and Cliff Robinson comes in for defense purposes.
Now remember, both teams are in the penalty. Detroit is in good situation, 3 timeouts and a 20.
1 out of 2 for Drexler. And a 22nd timeout called by Chuck Daly. Detroit still has 3 full timeouts left. Sunday afternoon, 3:30. Change of venue. We'll go to Portland for games 3, 4, and maybe game 5. And we'll be back to the Palace in just a moment.
Ask him.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place. This is the mark of a great beer. The one beer that's cold filtered for real draft taste. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. It's as real as it gets.
Well, the parking lot is still full. Not a soul has left the Palace. 21,000 plus. A full timeout was called by Chuck Daly. Everyone on his feet right now. There's the story. Portland with one timeout, Detroit 2. They both have a 20. No fouls to give. 44.3 seconds to go in the game. And let's check in the Portland huddle right now.
See, you're in a situation with Portland now on defense. You're trying to tell your ball club, look, there's 44 seconds. Make them shoot with 24 seconds on the clock. Even if they exhaust the time clock, we still have 20 seconds to get it done. Whether we need a 2, whether we need a 3. The main thing here is if you're Portland is not to foul. You want to have good defense, stay in front of your offensive player. When the shot goes up, we need 5 guys on the defensive board. We must hold Detroit to one shot opportunity and hope that we don't foul them.
Right now, let's send you over to James Brown.
All right, I just got finished talking to the assistant coach, Jack Shallow, and he indicated no fouls on defense. We've got time for 2 more shots. Push it up the court quickly. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, and they do. 22 on the shot clock. You see there's a big difference, plenty of time.
Try not to lose your man if you're Portland. You do not want to give up an easy shot. Now, right here, watch Lambier stepping out for a possible pick and roll.
That's what it is. Thomas, though, double team down the middle, scoops it up. Sally tries to keep it alive, and the rebound by Kersey. And a timeout called by Portland, and they now, with the clock down in the shot clock, have a chance to tie or win.
Now, by calling it after you tried to advance it off the dribble, the ball will be foul line extended in the back court.
When choosing a new car, don't compromise. Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme SL is longer and wider, yet accelerates faster than Ford Taurus. It's more powerful, yet gets better highway gas mileage than Honda Accord. And it has a better owner satisfaction plan than both. Which obviously makes Cutlass Supreme the smarter choice. All the way around.
This is the new generation of Olds.
It has been said that a good beer is like a good man. If you look beneath the surface, invariably, the best will come shining through. Smooth, never bitter, Miller Beer.
Why that man a Miller beer, the best comes shining through.
You know, there's been a discussion here while Rick Adelman was talking in the huddle. Chuck Daly was at center court talking to the 2 officials to find out whether it was a 20 or a full timeout.
Yeah, also, though, they're talking about where the basketball is going to be placed. You see?
You mentioned it should be back.
Yeah, because, see, the rule is this. If you get a rebound on a miss and you try to advance the basketball, which Kersey definitely did, he dribbled the basketball up the floor. Now, if that happens and a timeout is called, you take the ball out where the guy called the timeout. And this is what they're talking about right now.
Meanwhile, Drazen Petrovic the good outside shooter who hasn't missed today from Yugoslavia, number 44, is checked in for Portland, and Dennis Rodman will defend him for the Pistons. There's Petrovic. And Rodman. Going out with an aggravated ankle earlier and came back.
All right, now remember, Portland's situation. You're down 2. You have 1 full timeout. All right, you're sitting in a situation that the ball is in the backcourt. Now, Detroit, it'll be interesting to see if they come down the floor and apply pressure so that they run precious seconds off of this time clock.
And maybe be forced to call their last timeout. And now Detroit will take its 20. There's some confusion about timeout, so good thing we have James Brown to clear it up, JB. Go ahead.
All right, Dick, I will give a good faith effort at it. There was a lot of argument and discussion going on. Chuck Daly was complaining that Portland called a 20-second timeout. They, in fact, were taking 20 seconds. He felt Portland got a full timeout and said, hey, wait a minute, folks, let's even this up. It's a TV timeout. We didn't call it. Back to you guys.
Well, Portland apparently took a 20 because they couldn't inbound the ball where Rick Alleman wanted them to.
See, that was the initial call, and that's the call that we had.
Right.
Jack Madden called a 20-second timeout, but it definitely extended beyond the 20 seconds.
So Portland has 1 full timeout, Detroit 2. They did not go after the inbounds passer. There's the clock. The shot clock is off. 84-92. Porter driving down the middle. Lost the ball and a foul called before, though. And it's on Isaiah Thomas. And Portland can tie it up now. 5 on Isaiah.
Isaiah exasperated. Now here it is here. Keep an eye on it. All right, there you go right there. It seems like they had the foul. There's your shovel off. That was not called. Or I guess it was called. It was called back. And they just continued to drive. There was such a roar that you could not hear the whistle.
Here it is again.
Yeah, he caught him outside. See, we caught that early on the initial dribble.
Now Porter is perfect from the line. 11 for 11 tonight. He needs them both to tie. Points for Porter. Drexler leads with 25.
I remember Detroit has 2 full timeouts.
And 10.2 seconds remain in the game. And a tie score at 24, and the Pistons use a timeout, and they'll have 1. There's our story. Back for the finish, or maybe overtime. Who knows if game 2 in a moment.
NBA action, it's fantastic.
Look out tomorrow.
When the editors of Motor Week tested the Grand Prix sports sedan, they evaluated the things you'd expect: room, comfort, function. But they also judged things no less important: acceleration, braking, feel. The result: Motor Week's driver's choice as America's best sedan was the Grand Prix sports sedan. From Pontiac, of course.
A tie score, 10.2 seconds left, and each team has 1 full timeout left. No fouls to give. Hubie?
All right, both teams, well, Detroit naturally shooting the penalty. All right, you're Portland now. You know that you want to deny the inbounds foul. You do not want to foul before the ball comes inbound. Second, be very, very careful of the guy out of bounds, passing the basketball, and then breaking to the basket and getting a return pass if you're Portland. Once the shot goes up, you must block out all of the Pistons. If you get the rebound, you can call timeout. If your time is down, you get a long rebound, you might push it on the fast break to get off a shot in transition.
Mark McGuire coming into the game, and why not? With his offensive capabilities, he could hit. And, you know, he's a pretty good low-post offensive player as well as a three-point threat.
Also, when he was at Dallas, one of their pet plays in a situation like this would be the inbounds pass and then right back to Mark McGuire for a long shot. Sometimes it would be a three, sometimes it would be two.
Robinson's guarding McGuire, the inbounds passer. Thomas way out. Clearing out against Porter. Thomas fires away, misses, and we're going to overtime. And our first overtime session in an NBA final since 1984 when the Celtics won in Los Angeles. And we'll be back for the 5-minute overtime session in a moment.
Excellent defense that time by Portland.
Ba 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 the rain. What do you think Mom's gonna do when we show up? Hopefully she'll feed us. It's good to see, you know, it's been too long.
One day it could all come down to a few inches. For those few inches, it's good to know you have Goodyear tires.
I guess they're home. I miss you. I miss you too.
That's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
The real test of a power mower is starting it easily on the first pull. That's why Sears is putting 100 Craftsman Eager One mowers on the line. Look at that. 99 first pull starts out of 100. No wonder there are more Craftsmen on the job than any other brand. And right now, our 4-horsepower Craftsman 2 lawnmower with 22-inch cut is just $288 while quantities last. So hurry.
Look out tomorrow.
When the editors of Motor Week tested the Grand Prix sports sedan, they evaluated the things you'd expect: room, comfort, function. But they also judged things no less important: acceleration, braking, feel. The result, Motor Week's driver's choice as America's best sedan was the Grand Prix sports sedan from Pontiac, of course.
'94-94, we're going into a 5-minute overtime session. The Portland Trail Blazers have been in 2 overtimes. A double overtime win against San Antonio in Game 5 of their Western semifinal, and then they defeated San Antonio in overtime in Game number 7. Both of those were home games, and they won them both. So this is their first overtime road game, and of course, as we mentioned, the first time we've had an extra session in the finals since 1984. Kevin Duckworth is fouled out for the Trailblazers, but there are others that are lurking. Jerome Kersey has 5, and Wayne Cooper have 5 for the Trailblazers. Isaiah Thomas and James Edwards each with 5 for the Detroit Pistons. Each team has 3 timeouts in the 5-minute overtime session, and the penalty is on the 4th team foul. Coming out for the Pistons, James Edwards, their leading scorer with 24, Bill Laimbeer and John Sally. Isaiah Thomas, who has 23, and Joe Dumars. For Portland, their leading scorer, Clyde Drexler, with 25 coming out. Terry Porter, who's second with 19. Buck Williams with 10. Cliff Robinson. And Jerome Kersey, who has only 6 tonight.
Well, it's interesting right now with Spider Sally in the game. You have Edwards, Laimbeer, and holy mackerel, and Sally on your front line. You've got 3 guys right around that 7-foot mark.
You think they want boards and block shots?
I think so. Just the teens.
Pick and roll. James Edwards puts the Pistons in front.
See, they keep trapping the pick and roll, and that roll man is wide open if they get him with the pass quickly.
26 for Edwards. Drexler trying to get Dumars inside.
Nice pass.
Kersey with a fake on Laimbeer. Dumars out jumps everybody.
Kersey better get back and pick up his man. You know, he was looking for a foul that time. You know, Kersey seems to be, you know, walking gingerly. It looks like he pulled something. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Edwards setting a screen. Porter stays with Thomas. Edwards with a double team, tipped by, and the clock's going to run down. Now, was there a foul before the 24-second clock? And there was.
Yes, there
was 1 second left on the shot clock when Kersey committed his 6th personal foul, Hubie. That's amazing.
And not only that, see, he's very frustrated because he almost had to steal that time, hit the bump, and he went right to the official and said, that's a foul, and he pointed to the other end of the floor because he wanted a call when he went to the basket on that last play.
3 for 11 from the field for Kersey, and there was 1 second left on the 24-second clock. And Drazen Petrovic will replace him, so they're going to go smaller now.
There's your move. Kersey gets a piece of it. Now, as he rotates out, Lambier steps in. Kersey wanted an offensive foul that time on Lambier, but he's moving in that situation. Now, right now,
they're going to make Drexler a forward here right now because Cliff Robinson goes out. So they got Wayne Cooper in there along with Petrovic, Drexler, Porter, and Williams. So Drexler will be a forward, I guess.
Well, Drexler, this is a combination they went with many occasions this year where they played Drexler at the small forward. But he's matched up with Bill Lambier. They're hoping that Lambier will stay out wide, but this is smart. They're going to try to post him.
Drexler is guarding Lambier, posting up Edwards against Cooper. Edwards misses. And the rebound by Porter. Chance to tie it up for Portland. Drexler trying to post up, had Isaiah Thomas on him, and he ties it up.
I'd say I really admire him right there. That was really some effort. He went down inside, tried to post up, got banged around, came up to the top, made the catch, and had the presence to knock that shot down.
Drexler with 27. Dumar's working in against Petrovic. Not a bad defender is Drazen.
He feels he can take them.
Oh! This is the shot, Williams. Good defense by Portland there, and now the Blazers looking to take the lead.
Drazen wants the ball. There's a good clear out.
Against Dumars. 6 on the clock. Here's Petrovic. Rebound inside. No foul. Batted down. Lambier winds up with it. Here comes Thomas with 2:40 to go in the score tie. Lambier fires a 3 and hits it.
There was no hesitation at all.
His 4th three-point basket of the game and 20 points for Bill Lambier. A 3-point advantage. Petrovic can't hold on to it, and a Portland turnover.
Well, it was a bad angle that time. Now here you have Buck Williams. The ball is knocked loose that time. Lambier comes up with the ball. He follows this play right at the opposite end of the play. Watch Buck Williams run at Lambier. No hesitation at all.
Meanwhile, Dennis Rodman has come in for Detroit, and Cliff Robinson for Portland. Winding down to 2 minutes left.
They would not allow Rodman in that time.
All right. 2 minutes left. Now under 2 minutes to go. Thomas fired up that 3. Looked like there was nothing else for him to do. Drexler working in against Dumars, and makes an impossible shot. I don't even know if he was looking at the basket.
You know, as he turned into that shot, he saw Lambier coming right at him, and he banked that in.
He has scored all 4 Trailblazer points here in overtime. Pistons by 1. Lambier wants another 3. He's got it. 5 in the game for Bill Lambier. And a timeout called by Portland.
When the guy is hot in a 3-point situation, you've got to run at him and make him dribble the basketball.
And you never know who's going to come forward offensively for Detroit.
What's your first priority? Miss Crowley, Well, I'm assuming there's product in the pipeline, so...
Assuming, Miss Crowley, unfortunately, assuming doesn't feed the bulldog.
The top business schools prepare you for every eventuality you will ever encounter in the business world, except one, business travel. We've got that one covered. United. Come fly the friendly
How
skies.
can Miss Crowley's three-person sales force stay on top of her far-flung enterprise?
Describe McDonald's in 3 little words.
3 little words. Big Mac, fries, Coke.
Clean, clean, clean. Butch, Gerald, David. See, I met them all right here.
Toy, Happy Meals.
Fresh, deaf, cooking. Extraordinary, innovative, convenient. Filet-O-Fish.
You know the one, McDonald's.
Food, folks, fun.
Yum, yum, yum.
How's this for pressure? Now watch Drexler as he maneuvers Joe Dumars down in here, and as he starts to elevate on his shot to the right of your screen, here comes Lambier. Look how close he comes. Now how about changing of the hands, and he banks it in with his left hand. At the other end, you'll see Drexler going for Lambier, but he's late. Lambier is about to make his 5th three-point shot in 7 opportunities.
Edwards, Lambier, and Thomas have accounted for 72 of the Pistons' 102 points. As Chuck Daly said, you never know where it's going to come from offensively. Thomas had 33 in game 1. Lambier only had 11, but he's come forward with 23 today. Edwards with 26 after a 9-point effort Tuesday night.
Now, we have plenty of time in this game. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Pistons are only up 4. Portland is sitting on, 2 timeouts left. Detroit has 3. Neither team even close to foul problem.
Right now, let's check in with James Brown.
All right, Dick, well, must have been listening in on the Portland huddle. Rick Adelman says, folks, we've got an eternity out here. I do not want to go for quick threes. Just take our time and go for 2 twos. Play it safe. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, James Brown. Timeouts and fouls to give left. Sally will guard Williams on the inbound.
Well, everything up until now has been to Drexler and allowing him to take his man.
He has scored 4 points in the overtime.
He's trying to post up Isaiah Thomas. There it is, right there.
Knocked away, man, it was off Thomas. That was a close call.
That was excellent defense by Zeke that time.
Will we have a 1-1 series, or will the Pistons go up 2-0 heading for Portland?
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Petrovic as Lambier. Porter, double team. Foul. They had Lambier and Thomas, and for Isaiah, that'll be his 6th foul, and he is gone. So Isaiah Thomas is fouled out of this one in overtime with 1:10 remaining. Thomas scored 23 points, had 11 assists, and 7 rebounds.
That was a very heady play by Porter. Petrovic was in the left corner being guarded by Lambier. He chased him out. He sent them across, and he took Isaiah. Now watch what he does here. See? Head fake, 2 fakes, and then he stepped right in on the shot release.
Rodman goes out, Edwards in. Now the NBA Finals record for most free throws made without a miss is 14. Magic Johnson did it in the 1980 Finals against Philadelphia. Terry Porter has hit 13 in a row. And he has tied it. But the team now trailing by 3. Cliff Robinson, the defensive forward, replaces the shooting guard Petrovic for Portland.
What you're doing is you're putting in a shot blocker, but also a guy who can really move his feet defensively.
And the new record, without a miss, 15 in a row by Terry Porter. 2-point lead for Detroit. Dumars lost the ball trying to drive. And now the Blazers in a position to tie it.
Nice.
Here's Porter. Drexler, long range, ties it up. Clyde Drexler with 31 points has tied the game. Under a minute to go.
Great shot, but how about the pass by Porter in traffic? Now here's that pick and roll situation again.
14 on the shot clock.
Somebody's open.
Vinnie Johnson has come in. Lane Beer misses a three. Rebound. Only Portland underneath, and it was Williams.
Yes, 2-on-1.
Tied 102 and tipped away in a great defensive play that time by Joe Dumars, preventing the layup. Great play.
You'll see this now. Now watch out quick. See, Drexler thinks he can take it all away, but the defense cuts it off. Lambier, excellent position. See, Robinson did not continue. He could, if he took one more step, he could have possibly received the pass.
Petrovic comes in for Portland, and Rodman as well. Thomas, he's finished for the night.
The Tour de Light is nearing the finish line, where a lifetime supply of Miller Lite waits for the winner. These guys would not push themselves for just any beer. Only the less filling beer that really tastes great. It's anybody's race. I don't believe it. Woody wins. And so, what was it that drove these guys across America? The quest for Miller Lite, America's favorite light beer. Looks like they're going to need more Miller Lite.
The next time you experience headaches, backaches, nausea, and sleepless nights, there is one way to get relief fast. GMAC. We make financing and leasing your new GM vehicle painless.
Tied at 102, 27 seconds to go in overtime. UB, take it away.
Now on this break, look at Lambier, good positioning. Now watch out when Robinson stops, Joe Dumars hustling is able to get a piece of the ball. If Robinson could possibly have taken one more step, it would have opened up for the layup. Great defense by Dumars.
Portland still has a foul to give. Detroit does not. But Detroit has more timeouts with 27 seconds to go.
Well, you're Rick in this situation. You're going to get the ball inbounds, and you're telling your basketball team, listen, we want a good shot opportunity. Hopefully we can get fouled. If we should shoot and miss, or there is a turnover, you cannot count on them calling a timeout. Don't fall asleep. Retreat quickly and set up the transition defense. But you're hoping, from a positive standpoint, that the play you're calling is going to get you a score.
Williams will inbound. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Dumars is now on Porter. Sally and Rodman in there as well, defensively.
This might be a pick and roll situation with Buck Williams, yes.
Sally picks up Porter on the switch. Porter going away, misses, loose ball. Dumars had it, and a foul is called against, it may be Lane Beer. Let's see.
No, I'm pretty sure it's on Dumars, Dick.
It is on Dumars, and with 9.6 seconds to go.
Now here's the shot. You'll see Buck Williams in the action right here. All right, they catch Dumars. They said that they had him on the initial or on the anticipation of the dribble.
So Detroit had no fouls to give, and Buck Williams will go to the line. 4 for 6 tonight, 66% in the playoffs. And Portland leads for the first time in overtime.
Now with 9.6 seconds, make or miss in this situation, Detroit will probably call a timeout to move the basketball to half court to get the seconds needed. So precious seconds.
Cliff Robinson is in, Petrovic is out. They've been making these offensive, defensive substitutions. Williams makes them both, and it's a 104-102 game. And as you anticipated, Chuck Daly calls a timeout.
Big-time pressure for a guy who's struggled on a foul line during his career. Buck knocks him down very coolly.
This has been an exhaustive night, and the fans have been treated to tremendous basketball here in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Portland trying to hang on and send it to Portland on Sunday. We'll be with you at 3:30 Eastern Time, and hope it's 1-1 when they go home. And again, they have beaten Detroit 20 straight times in Portland. Chuck Daly with the blackboard out. Portland still has one foul to give, Hubie.
Now remember, you're Chuck Daly in a situation. You have 9 seconds, but you do not have your premier penetrator. He's out of the game, and that's Isaiah Thomas. So if they are going to look for penetration, the basketball will be handled by either Vinnie Johnson or Joe Dumars. Now, once again, in this situation, a very, very dangerous guy is the guy out of bounds. Whether he throws it in and cuts to the basket if you try to double team the man who catches the ball, or he steps in and gets a return pass.
Let's check in with James Brown. JB, what do you have?
All right, Dick. Chuck is going deep into his tactical bag here. He's trying to get a two-guard offense between Dumars and Johnson on the outside to try to free one of those two for the three-point shot. He wants to go for the win, not go for the tie. Let's go back to Dick.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially because you're playing at home. And all night long, the pick and roll, any crossing of the dribble, a player has been open because Portland, up until now, has trapped the man, freeing the pick guy. Now, let's see, coming out of the huddle, if I'm Portland, whether they are going to switch on all crosses of players to keep themselves between the offensive player and the basket.
Mark Aguirre comes in. Rodman is out, so it's Vinnie Johnson, Mark Aguirre, Laimbeer, Dumars, and Sally.
The main thing, you're Portland now. You do not want to foul. You want to get good position when the shot goes up. Excellent defense.
Danny Young has come in, so it's Young, Porter, Robinson, Drexler, and Buck Williams. Small team, but they're looking for quickness and defense.
They've got to watch out because Drexler's going to guard Laimbeer in this situation.
Clock running down. Laimbeer fires a three and hits with 4 seconds to play. Detroit does lead. Six three-point baskets by Bill Laimbeer has given the Pistons the lead. Here's how he did it.
Now you'll see, they're scrambling here. Nothing was happening. Laimbeer just came out to pick up the basketball. He has Drexler on him. He's looking. They have nothing going. How is that? A for courage and B for nerve. He just steps right up without any hesitation. He knows he can shoot over the top of Drexler and knocks in his 6th three of the evening.
His last 5 baskets are three-point shots, and you heard from James Brown that Chuck Daly wanted to win it. He wasn't looking for the tie.
All right, now you're Portland. You are down 1.
No timeouts.
You have 4 seconds to go. You have plenty of time to inbounds and get something good. Now, it could come off of penetration, or it could come off of a quick, the catcher make a quick penetration and then kick the ball out for a shot. Now, you can get that off in 4 seconds. Naturally, if you're Detroit, you're contesting, but you are not gambling, and you are not going to allow your guy to beat you off the dribble. Remember, Portland has no timeouts left.
This is one of the real thrillers of NBA Finals that we've witnessed. Bill Laimbeer tying a record set by Michael Cooper back in '87.
All right, in this situation right now, they have Laimbeer on Buck Williams taking the ball out of bounds.
Laimbeer will be defending.
If you're Detroit now, any picks, you should switch out and try to deny the open man coming to the pass.
Petrovic is in for offense, Rodman in for defense for the Pistons. Drexler guarded by Rodman and a foul, and he'll go to the line.
Excellent call. Good call, Dick. You had that all the way. Rodman had his hand right on his hip. That was an excellent play.
So now the Blazers can take the lead, but Drexler, who's 4 for 6 from the line, has to hit both. And Detroit still has 2 timeouts left, and 2.1 seconds can be an eternity.
Now you'll see. Watch the push. You see, he's got him right on the hip that time. Big shot by Clyde. He's having a sensational game this evening. Not only the points, the passes, you know, stealing the basketball. He's really made it happen.
He has 6 points in overtime, and Detroit calls a timeout, trailing by 1. And they still have a timeout in case they can't inbound the ball.
Now you're Chuck Daly. You have 2 seconds to go. You know that it has to happen quick. If Portland pressures you out, you're only going to have time for a catch and a maximum, possibly, maybe 2 dribbles before you've got to take a shot. If you're Portland, the one thing you cannot have happen is that they backpick a man and they throw the ball to the front of the rim or someplace down in that painted area and a guy makes a clean catch.
What's critical, Hubie, is that Portland still has a foul to give, so they could use a second of that 2.1 off the clock by committing a foul and making Detroit inbound it again with even less time.
There you go. It'll be interesting to see if they use that. They use that strategy.
James Brown.
Dick, you and Hubie talking about a foul to give. That was exactly the lesson that Adelman was telling his players prior to the Lambeer shot. You should have fouled. Then he went into the discussion about what to do. On the Detroit end, Chuck Daly says, Mark McGuire, I want your hands on the ball, and I want you to take the best available shot. Let's go back to Dick.
I would have told you that Bill Lambeer is going to hit 3 3-point baskets in overtime. He'd probably say it'll be a cushy overtime for the Pistons, but no one counted on Drexler and Porter and Buck Williams with key free throws.
Well, see, in a situation like this, the pressure is really on the passer, the guy out of bounds. It is not easy to get the ball inbounds, okay, with 2 seconds to go if they put a big player on you to contest you. And it looks like they're going to, well, Buck Williams is coming in. Let's see who plays Aguirre.
Adelman is called, we understand, for a foul immediately on the passing.
Sure, you definitely should put the pressure on the passer.
Williams is guarding Aguirre.
They have Cooper back in case of a lob.
Here's the pass to Edwards and the foul.
Oh, my.
Now, he was going up with it as soon as he got it.
Now this is critical. Do they call the foul?
In the act of shooting.
On the catch when he hit the ground, or do they call the foul in the shot to the basket?
Detroit is using its last timeout right now, and I would think it was not a shooting situation. I'm not sure now what they call.
Well, they have not.
No shot.
All right, yeah, okay, Jack Madden is over there telling the score, and he is saying no shot. So what they're saying now is on this pass, watch Drexler come in, and also Cooper size up as he comes right there. Definitely fouled. No shot at all. It's not even close.
So 1.5 seconds remain. The Pistons are out of timeouts. No more fouls to give. And it's right in front of us with the Blazers that much time away from tying this best-of-7 finals at a game apiece.
Now, remember what we said on the last timeout. The pressure is on the passer out of bounds. If Buck Williams will get up and apply it and try to take away the passing lane, what you do not want to have happen is what we just saw. A pass from out of bounds all the way down into the painted area before you got, you know, that's dangerous if that can happen.
You know, that reminded me of the Ralph Sampson shot a little bit when he beat the Lakers several years ago. You remember Sampson caught the ball in the paint against Worthy, threw it, and he scored. James Brown, go ahead.
All right, Dick, working overtime here, and certainly the beauty of having so many veterans as Detroit does is that you can spread it around. And in fact, Chuck Daly says, let's go back into the boot of the big fella. Let's put it on you. Let's go back to Dick.
Now, if you're playing James Edwards in a situation and you knew what they did on the time before, it's two guys working together. The guy pressuring the player out of bounds, and then also the guy playing Edwards wherever he's going to make this catch. Now, they're bringing in Cliff Robinson, and I like this move by Portland. Let's see what they do. They're putting Cooper on the man out of bounds. That is terrific. He should jump up in the air, 7-footer with long arms.
Aguirre has Johnson, Laimbeer, Edwards, and Dumars. Now they switched and they put Cliff Robinson on him, Hubie.
All right, the main thing is to pressure Aguirre in this situation.
Right, 1.5 seconds. Here it goes. Edwards goes up with it. And the game is over. No foul. The game is over, and Portland has won. And for the first time in the playoffs, the Detroit Pistons have lost at the Palace, and it snaps their 14-game winning streak. Chuck Daly, upset, wanted a foul, but instead the Trailblazers got their split, winning in overtime 106-105. I think we're exhausted, not to mention the players, because this was a drainer emotionally for everyone, and the crowd files out, but they were treated to a classic here in the finals.
Well, once again, Edwards was able to catch the basketball. And then as he made his move, they double-teamed him, and they got a piece of that last shot.
All right, let's go upstairs now to Pat O'Brien. Pat?
All right, and so Portland, you can write down mission accomplished for the Portland Trailblazers. Remember that Clyde Drexler told us before the game, he said, Pat, we are coming in here to win tonight, and we're going to go back home, and we are not coming back to Detroit. They're happy to get out of here, and now the series is tied at 1-1. And so Portland, Oregon, here we come. Let's go down to James Brown now with Clyde.
All right, Clyde, you said you didn't want to come in here and steal one. You wanted to win one.
I think the team played awful good down the stretch, and something we've been doing all season long, able to win close games. And tonight was a super win.
What was the difference down the stretch tonight that you guys didn't fall apart?
I think we executed a little bit better. We're more aggressive in taking our shots to the hole, and the defense was so much better.
You've been in quite a few games. Is that one of the more exciting ones?
It's one of the most exciting ones at the most exciting time.
Last but not least, there's another professional athlete that you admire. Tell us who he is, and do you think he was proud tonight?
Well, one of my favorite players is the doctor, Julius Erving. And I hope he's proud. I hope he's pulling for the Portland Trailblazers.
All right, let's go back upstairs to Pat O'Brien.
We don't know who the Doc's rooting for, but he's probably proud of that performance. And so for Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and James Brown, this is Pat O'Brien saying so long to the Palace of Auburn Hills, where our final score, the Portland Trailblazers 106, the Detroit Pistons 105. The 1990 NBA Finals continue Sunday afternoon with Game 3 as the series shifts on to Portland. It all starts at 3:30 Eastern here on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 2 of the 1990 NBA Finals has been sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. McDonald's, you know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. And by Miller High Life. Buy that Mala Miller. The best comes shining through.
The Portland Trailblazers are bringing the series home, all tied at 1, the 1990 NBA Finals. Our presentation of CBS Sports.